Chapter 792. That beautiful and mesmerizing huge bird silhouette. There was a black-armored silhouette wielding a golden shield, swooping down. Luo Fu Lu board. Luo Fu Lu board. We're saved. The two undyings on the human side were overjoyed, and the two savage-headed scaled demon undyings howled softly. The Luo Fu Lu board was a rather famous flying support weapon. It was naturally formed. Its shape was unique. At first glance, the entire board looked like a bird, especially the natural engravings on the board formed a mysterious bird. The moment the Luo Fu Lu board and the user completely fused, using all their strength would produce that huge bird silhouette, increasing one's speed. Even though the Luo Fu Lu board's price was only 1 to 2 million mixed elements, as it was naturally formed, it was extremely rare. Even with money, it was hard to buy. Even amongst official-level undyings, there were very few who had them. To be able to own the Luo Fu Lu board, it was already proof of one's identity and strength. Shu Fan, we can win. The seemingly copper-forged undying's entire body was burning with flames, communicating excitedly. Who knows, we might be able to turn the tables. The seemingly weak-looking man, surrounded by water, was all smiles. Howl! That demon undying too was extremely cautious, even weakening his attacks on the two human undyings, carefully preparing to flee the moment things went south. However, in that instant, playing with people, the great undying, that weak-looking man, Shu Fan, stared wide-eyed. Sector Lord? How can it be a Sector Lord? Howl! The demon undying, however, was extremely excited. How sensitive were their auras? They instantly determined that this black-armored young man was a world overlord. No matter how powerful his aura was, even if he was stepping on the Luo Fu Chi board, it wouldn't change the fact that this black-armored young man was merely a world overlord. How can it be a Sector Lord? The two human undyings were about to collapse. They thought their savior had arrived. Who would have thought it was a Sector Lord? Luo Feng stood on the Luo Fu puppet and rushed downwards. With one look, he saw the two-head demon undying. Naturally, he was very clear what race this demon was. Space-time Nightmare Beast, one of the 18 royal demon clans. At the peak of adulthood, it can naturally reach the level of a region lord. Of its two heads, one has a golden eye, while the other has a silver eye. The golden eye can affect space, while the silver eye can affect time. When the golden eye and silver eye are used at the same time, they have a very strong control over the surrounding space-time. When used together with a law domain, the power of the law domain will multiply. And this time-space beast below was the humiliation of the time-space beast race undyings. As a royal race with innate time and spatial abilities, this space-time mastiff's attainments in time and space were very, very low. Otherwise, a slightly stronger space-time mastiff would already be at the marquee level. Relying on its innate ability to control space and time, it was only able to reach the undying general level. This was indeed a disgrace to the monster royal race. Otherwise, a monster royal race member, even in the foreign battlefields, wouldn't be without an undying follower. The time-space beast, even though it can't compare to the destruction beast talent time stop, or the Golden Horn Beast talent cloning. However, its numbers are after all much higher than the Destruction Beast and the Golden Horn Beast. Luo Feng thought within. The Space Beast's 12 pinnacle bloodlines is even more noble than the Demon Clan's 18 royal bloodlines. However, at the same time, the difficulty of becoming an undying, even for the royal race, is much easier than the Golden Horn Beast. Space talent. There were high and low. Space binding was also a talent, but its effects were pitifully weak. Changing the flow of time was also a talent, usually just slightly faster or slower. The difference was extremely small. Teleportation was also a talent. Its effects were heavenly. There are indeed life forms that can teleport naturally. Time stop was also a talent, similarly heavenly. Even the weakest race has its heroes. Even the strongest has its weaklings. Time-space beast, prepare to die. Rushing down, Luo Feng immediately controlled the golden shield in his hand. Immediately, the thick golden shield shot out rhombus-shaped metal pieces. Every piece had complicated engravings on it, immediately connecting with countless golden threads. A total of 999 diamond-shaped metal pieces shot out at the same time. Countless golden threads intertwined, communicating with the origin of the universe. Almost in an instant, a vague and huge phantom of the beast god appeared in the air. The 999 diamond-shaped metal pieces disappeared from the field of vision. At the same time, the phantom of the beast god became very clear, and the scales on its body could also be seen. For thick claws, a long scaled tail, a single horn that pierced through the skies. That domineering aura that seemed like it could destroy the universe. Even though it was faint, it still made one's heart tremble. What is this? The two human undyings were shocked. The demon undyings were even more shocked, their gold and silver pupils wide open. Humans and demon large amounts of sector lords, domain lords and universe levels all fell from mid-air, all landing on the ground. They all slumped down, prostrating on the ground, trembling in fear. Just that pressure alone was enough to make the sector lords unable to resist. Beast God weapon first form, Beast God descend. Completely covered in black armor, Luo Feng stood on the Luo Fu Chi plate, staring at the time-space beast below. Roar! The space-time beast below let out a furious roar and shot up into the sky. At the same time, two beams of light shot out from the eyes of its two ferocious heads. Under the control of the space-time beast's innate ability, the power of the space-time beast's law domain surged explosively, directly pressing down on the seemingly weak black-armored human realm master in the sky. Humph! Luo Feng gazed below. Rumble! The surrounding space warped, grass and sky appeared. The powerful world projection clashed with the origin law domain. Rumble! As they clashed, the origin law domain was forced to retreat and shrink. Finally, it was forced to revolve around the space beast within a 100 kilometers radius. This immediately caused the space beast's eyes to be filled with disbelief. How could its origin law domain be suppressed by the world projection? Beast God descend, first claw. Luo Feng thought within. The phantom of the beast god that was emitting a domineering pressure let out a roar. The roar seemed to penetrate through space and time, coming from an ancient era in the distant universe. With a single leap, the phantom of the beast god was extremely close to the space-time beast that was charging up from below. Immediately after, a ferocious and domineering claw followed. See? This seemingly blurry claw directly tore through one of the space-time beast's roaring heads and tore through the thin layer of armor covering the head. Red and white splattered everywhere as the head shattered. The claw wasn't weak at all. It continued downwards and directly tore through the space-time beast's torso. Howl! The other head of the space beast that had its body ripped apart roared. Simultaneously, countless pieces of its body became undying energy, trying to condense back into one body. See, the phantom of the beast god once again struck out with an incomparably domineering claw. At the same time, countless golden yellow leaves rapidly covered the surrounding area of tens of thousands of kilometers. Following that, they enveloped the heavily injured space-time beast that was trying to reassemble itself and escape. Countless golden yellow leaves frantically devoured it. In the blink of an eye, the space-time beast was completely obliterated. It had died. You should be proud to die under my move that contains the strongest beast god intent domain. Luo Feng waved his hand within the black armor. The huge, undying star eating grass swiftly flew over and shrunk, entering his arm. Back then, Hiroto had left behind 4 great techniques. Beast God Weapon, Beast God Roar, Beast God Transformation, Beast God Charge, Beast God Charge. Beast God Weapon had a total of 6 forms, each corresponding to the 6 levels of the 7 God transformations. Luo Feng had completed the first level of the scale armor. After studying it, he learned the first form Beast God Descend. One had to know that in his 900 years in Primal Chaos City, his Beast God domain was roughly at the Heavenly Bridge's 16th level. After studying it for another 300 years, his Beast God domain had reached the 17th level. The Beast God weapon was a commonly used weapon by the Universe Knights. A good spirit weapon had a strong amplification effect. With the Beast God weapon support, its power naturally rose. Luo Feng's unleashing of the Beast God Descent's first claw was incomparably easy. It felt even smoother than when the Golden Horn Beast unleashed it. Its power was extremely great, already nearing the level of an Emperor. Close to the Emperor level, spirit energy amplification of over 3,200. Sector Lord Pinnacle Spirit Energy. This allowed Luo Feng to unleash this move, barely reaching the level of an official. Along with the world projection directly suppressing the Space Beast's strongest origin law domain. One strike ripping apart its body. Naturally, victory was inevitable. Flee! Flee! The thousands of monsters roared. Using the common language of the demon race, they all fled in all directions. The already suppressed sector lords, domain lords, and universe levels all worked together in twos and threes, swiftly chasing after their targets. The two human undyings naturally didn't lower themselves to chase, smiling as they walked towards Luo Feng. "Thank you, brother." That copper-like undying walked over. "Thank you for your help." That weak undying carefully observed Luo Feng, simultaneously saying, "He is Bo Yizhu. I am Shu Fan. We are both undying generals. I believe my comrade should be one of the 5 great powers." Dressed in black armor, black helmet, and black boots, Luo Feng too descended, the Beast God weapon in his hands, and the Luo Fu Chi board beneath him were all kept in his internal world. Hua! The black armor moved. The black helmet swiftly vanished, revealing the black-haired youth's face. Second brother. Third brother. Over there, Nolan Shan was extremely excited as he gathered with the other 2 Sector Lord Pinnacle warriors. "We finally don't have to split up, we're all safe." "Ha! Fifth brother, we have to thank that Absolute Warrior. That Absolute Warrior is really powerful. He should be a Sector Lord, right? He actually killed that demon undying in such a domineering manner. And that yellow gold leaf, it should be an undying plant life form." Nolan Shan nodded as he heard, thinking within, a Sector Lord actually killed that demon undying. That's too powerful. That's a true absolute genius who knows where he came from. If I can form a relationship with him, then Luo Feng's threat would probably be nothing. Nolan Shan was so scared of Luo Feng that he stayed in the outer region battlefield. "Look, that warrior has revealed his face. He doesn't look normal at all." The second and third brothers' eyes gleamed as they looked over. At this time, many sector lords, domain lords, and universe levels were all looking over. Newell and Shan, too, turned to look in the distance. The 2 undying generals who were usually high above, at this time, were humble and respectful as they spoke to the black armored man. The black armored man had already revealed his face. Even though Luo Feng had changed the color of his skin, because of Luo Feng, he had been forced to stay in the outer region battlefield for over 4,000 years. How could Newell and Shan, who had always been grinding his teeth in hatred, not recognize him just because of the color? Newell and Shan looked at the distant black armored man, his eyes wide open, almost as though they were about to pop out. It was already the most critical moment. The most critical moment. Tomato was burning with impatience. He had been fighting for this month till today. Tomato had updated a little late. However, it was already 1 p.m., and he had already completed the promised 3 chapters. Fight! He just wanted to get the monthly votes #1. Right now was the time for him to fight. He couldn't retreat. He could only charge forward. Tomato's readers, please click on the recommended monthly votes to support the author below to support Tomato. Tomato needs everyone's support. Please, everyone. Chapter 793. Luo Feng. It's Luo Feng. He's Luo Feng. Newell and Shan's mind was in a complete mess. 4,000 years ago, he knew that staying in the Black Dragon Mountain Empire would cost him his life, with Luo Feng's improvement speed. If he, Newell and Shan, had stayed in the human domain, the gap between him and Luo Feng would only grow bigger and bigger. He had, after all, acquired the universe-level battle-axe warrior title. His bones were filled with madness. Hence he gritted his teeth and came to the foreign battlefields, wanting to risk it all. From the Black Dragon Mountain Empire to the foreign battlefields, he had met with danger twice. In the foreign battlefields, time after time of life and death battles, he quickly stepped into the Domain Lord level. However, Domain Lord level 1 in the foreign battlefields were simply cannon fodder. He constantly struggled time after time of life and death battles. The result was that he finally reached the Sector Lord level. All these years, why did he risk it all? It was because he feared Luo Feng. Hence he constantly strengthened himself. However now, Luo Feng had suddenly appeared before him, and he had directly killed an undying General Pinnacle warrior. How can he be so strong? How can he be so strong? 4,000 years ago, didn't he just participate in the genius battle? Back then, he was only a star level 9. It's only been 4,000 years. How can he be a Sector Lord Pinnacle? Even if he is a Sector Lord Pinnacle, how can he directly kill an undying general? It's over. It's over. Newland Shan's mind was in a mess. He couldn't feel any resistance at all. The two undying generals of this human army, Xu Fan and Bo Yizhu, both introduced themselves. Luo Feng smiled and nodded. I'm called Yang. Yang? Xu Fan and Bo Yizhu both memorized this name. HM. Luo Feng nodded. In his heart, Luo Feng had automatically categorized many people into close and distant relationships. Those that were close, like Tai Wa, Poison, and the Demon Lady, they had been through life and death situations together. They treated each other sincerely. Luo Feng told them he was Madman. The main reason was because he needed to keep his secret. Actually, Madman had been Luo Feng's nickname since Earth. This nickname was a common one. Out of 10 warriors, probably one would have this nickname. Luo Feng wasn't worried about his identity being revealed. As for Xu Fan, Bo Yizhu, and the others, they were destined to be strangers who occasionally had some friendship. It was enough to remember their code names. He had grown up in Yangzhou City, one of the 8 major cities of Jiangnan Headquarters City, so his code name would be Yang. Yang, the battle just now caused quite a commotion. I reckon that some alien race experts will come over soon. We should hurry up and leave this place, said Xu Fan. Come with us, Bo Yizhu said. Luo Feng nodded. All right, huh? Bo Yizhu and Xu Fan immediately laughed. What a joke. To be able to use his own strength to tear apart an undying at the pinnacle of Sector Lord level. It meant that his law comprehension was at least comparable to an official level pinnacle. This kind of person, when he becomes an undying, he would definitely become an emperor-level existence. What an honor it was to have a friendship with such an existence. Assemble. At the same time, he waved his hand, and a large silver flying saucer appeared. It was about 300 meters in diameter. Whoosh, the belly of the flying saucer split open, revealing a large passageway. Assemble. Assemble. The other Sector Lord Pinnacle warriors ordered the other warriors. Quickly enter the universe ship and leave immediately. Yes, the incomparably excited universe levels. Domain Lords and Sector Lords all flew over from all directions, all of them heading towards the large passageway in the belly of the ship. That passageway was enough for over 1,000 people to enter at once. Fifth brother, what are you thinking about? Have you gone silly? A tall and sturdy Sector Lord with a face full of fur pulled Newland Shan. Quickly enter the ship. Ah, Newland Shan was jolted awake. He couldn't help but glance into the distance. In the distance, Luo Feng, who was standing there, sensed something and looked over. The two of them locked gazes, causing Newland Shan to once again feel the pressure of the beast god silhouette. His heart couldn't help but tremble. They're here. Newland Shan followed the others and flew towards the ship. This 300 m diameter disc-shaped universe ship. Its belly had a 200 m diameter upper, middle, and lower cabin. These 3 cabins were all 200 m in diameter, easily holding close to 20,000 human warriors. Among them, Newland Shan was leading a squad of universe soldiers in the middle deck. He sat in the corner, his head lowered. Calm down. I have to calm down. Newland Shan roared within. It had to be said, Luo Feng's appearance today had shattered the 4,000 years of yearning within him. He had struggled between life and death for over 4,000 years, all because he didn't fear Luo Feng, also that he could threaten and take revenge on Luo Feng. Who? Who? Newland Shan breathed, his forehead full of sweat, finally calming down and regaining his consciousness. 4,000 years, Luo Feng has trained to this level, and his battle strength is so shocking. Right now, he's definitely highly regarded by the Virtual Universe Company. Newland Shan thought within. With his position, Luo Feng's information within the Virtual Universe Company was something he naturally couldn't know. Then, the chances of me taking revenge on him is 0. Newland Shan thought. Through the other races? Impossible. 1. The moment the other races see a human like me, they'll immediately kill me. 2. They won't believe me. 3. Colluding with the other races means I'll definitely die. 4. Even if the other races know there are human geniuses, there are many of them. Why must they chase after Luo Feng? 5. The important thing is, the moment I leave the team, that Luo Feng will have the chance to kill me. He won't even have the chance to report. Looking at it, through the other races to take revenge on Luo Feng, the chances were even lower than 0. 0.000000001%, infinitely close to 0, and he would have to pay the price with his life. I don't want to sacrifice my life. Then I'll have to think of a way to live. Newland Shan gritted his teeth and thought. Suddenly his eyes gleamed. Right, in the foreign battlefields, the army system has a rule: comrades and allies cannot kill each other. Those who kill each other will be treated as traitors and will be immediately executed, which means as long as I stay within the army, countless people will activate the surveillance system. That Luo Feng wouldn't dare kill me. And I just have to leave the team alone. He probably has many methods, any random automaton or something, and it would easily kill me. And if the automaton kills me, even the surveillance system wouldn't be able to determine that it was Luo Feng who killed me. Right? Just like that. Newland Shan nodded. He made up his mind. He would mix within the army and follow the 2 undying generals. At least Luo Feng could use a few small tricks to not be able to kill him within the army. And if he made a big move, it would be very easy to determine that it was Luo Feng who did it. Then Luo Feng would be judged as a traitor. Naturally, he would die. I don't believe he would sacrifice his life to kill me. Newland Shan revealed a smile. 5th brother, that mysterious sector lord from before was really powerful. Just what kind of background does he have to be able to have an undying plant life, to have such battle strength? Yes, very powerful. Newland Shan smiled and nodded. Within the control room of the flying saucer, Bo Yizhu and Xu Fan, the 2 undying generals, were using a sumptuous banquet to welcome Luo Feng. Yang, if it wasn't for you this time, us 2 brothers would have fallen. This debt of saving our lives, we'll remember it. Come, have a taste. This is the Yihua wine we just exchanged for in the army base. Even though it isn't anything expensive, it has a special taste. Xu Fan smiled as he raised his wine cup. Luo Feng, too, raised his wine cup, gently drinking a mouthful. The moment the wine entered his throat, it immediately became threads of light. As it entered his body, it made him feel extremely comfortable. Not bad. Luo Feng nodded. To be able to meet you at such a crucial time, haha, it's really our luck. Bo Yizhu laughed loudly. Since we're all comrades, if it's within our abilities, we'll naturally help. Luo Feng said. The reason why he helped, 1 was to help his human comrades, and the more important goal was that Newland Shan, Luo Feng hated Newland Shan to the bone. Now that he had joined this team, dealing with Newland Shan was simply too easy. That Newland Shan's every move was completely under his own scanning equipment. He was terrified before. Now he seems to have calmed down. Looks like he's realized, within the army, I can't do anything to him. Right, within this team, I can't make a move against him. Making a move against a comrade, that's a heavy crime. But you're still dead. Since Luo Feng had joined this team, he naturally had 100% confidence in killing Newland Shan and not have to bear any consequences. If you leave this team alone, I have plenty of ways to kill you. If you keep staying in this team, The moment the team starts fighting with the foreign races, the battles are extremely chaotic. Naturally, I'll have ways to kill you. Luo Feng was extremely relaxed within. No matter if Newland Shan stayed in the army or left in fear, he would still die. Newland Shan still thought he was safe within the army, but that was because he didn't understand. For a strong warrior like Luo Feng to kill him before he truly met a life or death situation, he couldn't even think of those methods. Xu Fan, Bo Yizhu. Luo Feng smiled. I want to ask. Please speak. The two undying generals said at the same time. Luo Feng laughed. I've just arrived at the Sacrifice Flame continent, and this continent should be one of the continents within the Sacrifice Flame continent. The star chart describes the Sacrifice Flame continent's 9th continent. Xu Fan smiled. Actually, many of us humans and countless other races that have been fighting on the Sacrifice Flame continent, after countless years, we've long had our own internal designations. Like the main continent, naturally the continent, and these other continents are called islands. Islands? Luo Feng was shocked. A continent that was countless times larger than the sun was called an island. Right? Other than the main continent, the other continents are all considered islands. The one we're on is called Fog Sand Island. Xu Fan smiled. The experts in the main continent are as many as the clouds. There are many official level undyings and even emperor level undyings. Hence it's extremely dangerous. Those that think their own strength isn't enough, many of them just wander around the islands. Our Fog Sand Island is considered one of the larger islands with many foreign races. However, those undyings are basically all at the undying general level. There are about 12 official level undyings on the island, maybe even more. Anyway, we've already confirmed that there are 12 official level undyings. These 12 official level undyings in our Fog Sand Island are definitely tyrannical and tyrannical beings. Asterisk, 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 asterisk. The battle for the monthly votes was at its last 30 hours. All Tomato could do was work hard to the end. Work hard, fight till the end. Chapter 794. At least 12 official level undyings. Luo Feng put down his wine glass. I haven't fought an official level undying since coming to the alien battlefield. Yang, you have to be careful, otherwise you'll lose your life easily. Undying General Xu Fan emphasized undying General Pinnacle and official, even though it's just a small difference. However, the difference in terror is thousands to tens of thousands of times. In terms of battle strength, the difference between an undying General Pinnacle and an official level is very small. The only difference is an undying body. The moment one becomes an undying body, it's terrifying by thousands to tens of thousands of times. Like me and Bo Yizhu, our strength is very close to an official level. However, even if we self-destruct, even if we destroy an official level undying, the enemy will still reform his body and be completely unharmed. Even if we self-destruct, what's the point of fighting? Against an official level, there's only one thing to do: flee. The undying general shook his head and sighed. With an undying body, even if we destroy him thousands to tens of thousands of times, he won't be harmed at all. However, he can easily injure or kill you. Hence, to many undyings, having an undying body is eternal. Otherwise, they're just cannon fodder and soldiers. Luo Feng frowned. Undying undyings with an undying body. Normally, there were two ways to kill them. One was to destroy their soul. The other was to forcefully destroy them. The requirements were extremely high. Like the mission the Virtual Universe Company gave Luo Feng to kill an official level undying, they had to send an emperor level undying to lead a small team. They had to fight several rounds before they succeeded. Let's not talk about this, Yang. Undying General Bo Yizhu's voice was thick and thick, filled with anticipation. You've just arrived at Misty Sand Island. You don't know where to go. Why not stay with us two brothers first? Right. Xu Fan persuaded too. Staying with us two brothers. You'll be able to adapt to the battle atmosphere of Flaming Sacrifice Continent. The two looked expectantly at Luo Feng. Then I'll have to trouble you. Luo Feng smiled. Staying with this team, one was to get rid of Newland Shan. Of course, that was easy for Luo Feng. There was an even more important reason: battle plan. Luo Feng would have to explore the Yinji continent for a long time, and it would be dangerous to rush into such a dangerous place. He would first accumulate some experience on a misty sand island and gather some information about the Yinji continent. It wouldn't be too late to explore after that. The universe ship flew for more than a day before entering a mountain range. The mountain range was shrouded in mist. The reason why Misty Sand Island got its name was because a third of the island was covered in mist all year round. You're back. Haha, I came back alive. This time around, I've accumulated quite a lot of military merits. It's all thanks to that mysterious world overlord who suddenly appeared. Newell and Sean followed the rest of the universe soldiers. Entering the army camp within the mountain, the entire interior of the mountain had long been dug out, creating a huge army camp. This Luo Feng is actually in the army. Looks like he really wants me dead. Newell and Sean glanced at the three silhouettes walking shoulder to shoulder, his heart filled with hatred. But just wait and see. I'll just stay in the army. Let's see how you're going to deal with me. Kill me? Killing comrades in the outer realm is a crime of betraying the clan. You'll have to accompany them in death. Yang, undying General Shu Fan, and Bo Yizhu sent Luo Feng into a quiet palace. You can stay here for now. I'll give you a detailed report on the situation of our Misty Sand Island. Also, I will send you everything I know about the Yinji continent. We will rest for about 15 days and then go out to fight again. After a while, through the virtual universe network, Luo Feng received the detailed information. There was very little about the Yinji continent, but a lot about the Misty Sand Island. Detailed information on the 12 officials of the Misty Sand Island. Luo Feng sat on the ground, looking at the screen on his wrist guard that projected the information. Every single one of the 12 officials had a picture, an explanation, etc. Demon race, nicknamed the Revolving Snake. Luo Feng looked at the picture and shook his head. This is one of the 18 royal demon races. The reincarnation ice snake. Looks like most of the human undyings have very little understanding of the other races. Belonging to the bug race, nicknamed the Huge Rock, the information is really lacking. This huge rock should be a race that lives in an extremely distant part of the universe, belonging to the rock-type life form card shaman race. The automaton race's ally, nicknamed Sword Light, nicknamed Black Mist. His nickname is Nightmare. Luo Feng looked at the introductions of the official undyings on the Misty Sand Island, of which the demon race took up 3, the automaton race took up 2, the bug race took up 4, and the humans took up 3. Of course, most of them were the allies of the 4 pinnacle races. After all, these individual races couldn't compare to the pinnacle races, however, with a large number of them added together. They had much more undyings than the 4 pinnacle races. In the blink of an eye, 15 days had passed. Undying Shu Fan and Bo Yizhu led the army in a universe ship and flew carefully within the Misty Sand Island, preparing to search for a target. However, this time, they were much more confident, because Luo Feng was on the ship too. Luo Feng, Shu Fan, and Bo Yizhu were all within the control room. I've discovered a target. Shu Fan slightly lifted the screen on his arm guard and directly projected it. A screen appeared in midair, and on the screen, there was a large number of densely packed scaled creatures, the Dragon Thirst race warriors. At a glance, there were at least tens of thousands of them. These short-scaled creatures are very savage. Even if they were ordinary domain lords or world lords, they would be able to reform after being blasted apart. Looks like their scanning equipment isn't as advanced as ours. They too have 2 undyings. They aren't within the 12 official level. They should be at the undying level. Are we doing it or not? Shu Fan looked at Bo Yizhu and Luo Feng. Yes. Bo Yizhu gritted his teeth. Yang? Shu Fan looked at Luo Feng. I came to the battlefield outside to accumulate military merits too. Luo Feng smiled. Of course we'll do it. All right. Shu Fan immediately communicated to his subordinates within the 3 cabins. Listen to my orders. The battle will begin in 4 minutes. The target is an ugly scaled creature. Newell Shan was looking at the screen on his arm, the image of the Dragon Clan. He looked up and said, "It's just a group of ugly scaled creatures. In a while, everyone will have to accumulate more merits." Yes, Captain. Understood. The domain lords and universe levels under him all replied excitedly, getting ready to make a move. Luo Feng, a Luo Feng. I'm always in the army. Let's see what you can do to me. In a while I'll have to accumulate more merits. Newlin Shan's heart itched. Suddenly he heard a rumble. The cabin door had already opened. At the same time a majestic roar resounded in his mind. Listen to my orders, everyone fight. Hua! The majestic group of close to 20,000 universe soldiers swiftly followed the wide cabin door and rushed out. Newlin Shan naturally rushed out with them. Rumble, like a terrifying energy ripple, resounded from the distance. The universe space itself was torn apart. The shock waves were shocking. The battle has begun. Newlin Shan looked into the distance. In mid-air, there were 3 strong warriors on the human side. One of them was covered in flames, another was surrounded by cold water, and the last one was enveloped in the illusion of a huge flying beast. At the same time, he was controlling a huge beast god illusion that made people's hearts tremble. Of the 2 enemy undyings, one had an aura like a mountain, every punch causing the universe space to shatter. The other carried 9 blades on his back. Howl! Countless ugly scaled creatures flew through the air, killing their way over. Kill! The human soldiers, too, became over 10,000 beams of light, rushing over. The time to accumulate merits has arrived. Newlin Shan's eyes were filled with excitement. He who had once obtained the universe-level Battle Axe Warrior title naturally loved to kill. As fast as lightning, he met the 2 Dragonthirst clan warriors. They were both domain Lord level 9 Dragonthirst clan warriors. The 2 scaled undyings roared as they surrounded him. You're really sending yourselves to your deaths. Newlin Shan's world projection was immediately released, suppressing the opponent, following which the 2 thin ice blades in his hands lit up. Lightning fast 8-blade flashes. The 2 Dragonthirst clan warriors were immediately sliced into many pieces, provoking a sector Lord level 9 Dragonthirst clan warrior to roar and rush over. This caused Newlin Shan to retreat. 5th brother, be careful. Leave that bastard to us. Over the years, the human sector Lord Pinnacle immediately lent a helping hand. This scene made Newlin Shan overjoyed within. Even though he was currently free, he still didn't like to roam alone. That was because in the army, he could help others, of course. As a sector lord level 3, he normally needed the help of other sector lords. For him to grow to sector lord level 9, it would still take a long time. Chi Dai. Newlin Shan killed another domain Lord level 9 under the encirclement of a group of Dragonthirst clan warriors, after which he immediately dodged and joined forces with the other humans, surrounding and killing a few warriors of the Dragonthirst clan. In such a life and death situation, he was like a fish in water. Deep down he loved such an atmosphere. Awesome. Newlin Shan was excited from killing. This Luo Feng actually didn't take out his undying plant life. Newlin Shan glanced into the distance, discovering that Luo Feng had actually fought quite a few rounds with one of the undying scaled life forms. Even though he had heavily injured the other, he still hadn't obtained a complete victory. If he took out that plant life, he'd definitely win. Without it, it's going to be hard. Newlin Shan turned and continued his slaughter, immediately charging into a group of weaker Dragonthirst clan warriors, causing a sector Lord level 9 warrior to rage and rush over. At this time, rumble. A terrifying blade, energy, tore through the skies, piercing through 1,000 kilometers, directly piercing through the area Newlin Shan was at. Newlin Shan was immediately pierced through by this thick blade energy. His entire body was instantly blasted into pieces. Before he died, he stared wide-eyed, roaring within, Luo Feng. Simultaneously, as the blade energy tore through the skies, it also affected the surrounding warriors, killing them instantly. In the distance high up in the sky, Luo Feng, who was currently battling with a 9-blade, undying Dragonthirst clan warrior, noticed this scene from the corner of his eyes, snorting and continuing to crush the undying Dragonthirst clan warrior. Without relying on the star devouring grass, I don't believe I can't kill you. Luo Feng roared. Fight! 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 Even though he was only 1,000 votes away from first place, Tomato definitely wouldn't give up. There was still the last day. He wouldn't give up until the very last moment. Today, Tomato would fight till the very end, at least 4 chapters. And regarding the monthly votes, he could at most cast 2 monthly votes each time. 24 hours after casting, he wouldn't be able to cast again. He had to wait another 24 hours before casting again. Tomato continued to write. This was the 2nd chapter. There were at least 2 more chapters today. Fight! Throw as many monthly votes as you can. It's too late now. Chapter 795. Fifth Brother. Fifth Brother. Captain. From afar, the human warriors who saw this scene immediately shouted out in pain and panic. These few years, Newell and Sean had indeed made friends with many life and death brothers. Bastard. Ugly bastards go and die. Those furious and sorrowful universe warriors became even more frenzied as they fought against the scaled creatures. They thought Newell and Sean was hit by the shockwaves from the battle between the Undyings. Normal shockwaves couldn't kill a Sector Lord. However, with a single blade energy, even a Sector Lord Pinnacle would die without a doubt, much less a Sector Lord level 3 Newell and Sean. Kill. The human warriors killed the Dragonkin, while the Dragonkin warriors too roared as they went to kill the humans. It was a chaotic battle. Newell and Shan's death was indeed caused by Luo Feng's secret plan. The Dragonkin Undying fighting against Luo Feng was a spirit reader, controlling 9 blades, while Luo Feng was controlling the Beast God weapon to block the 9 blades. Both sides were fighting with their lives on the line. The Horned Thirsty clan Undying's blade clashed with the Beast God's claws. The blade was knocked off course, and the blade energy was naturally knocked off course. The Beast God silhouette was paying attention to the direction of the attack, and the deflected blade energy followed Luo Feng's calculations and shot out. The Beast God's image's clawed over. What angle was the claw used to block? No matter how strict the military system was, there was no way to determine that Luo Feng was the one to kill. After all, Luo Feng was blocking the opponent's attack. And just like that, Newell and Sean was dead. He thought that he would be safe in the army. He didn't know. There were loopholes in the rules. Hence he died silently in the outer region battlefield, becoming one of the countless fallen humans. Back then I was forced to such a state by Newell and Sean. Facing many desperate situations, I felt that he was a huge being, unshakable. However now, even after over 4,000 years of life and death training, his strength had improved greatly. Before me, he was still like an ant. Killing him wasn't difficult at all. It felt like stepping on an ant, very normal. Luo Feng thought, strength, this is strength. The outer region battlefield is life and death training. Training, the most important thing is to raise one's strength and not to kill countless times. Every time I fight, I have to constantly reflect and ponder. Gaining experience is more important. After Luo Feng had secretly plotted to kill Newell and Sean, his heart was filled with an even stronger thirst. Become strong. He had to become a true expert who had the ability to protect himself, an expert that no existence could trample on at will. Go! Luo Feng stood on the Luo Fu Chi board and pointed at the distant Undying Dragon Clan. Roar! An indistinct roar that seemed to traverse through space and time rang out. The phantom of the Beast God, emitting a domineering pressure, pounced once more. The surrounding space was completely compressed by this pounce, pressing down on the pitiful Immortal Devourer race member who was being trampled on. The Immortal Devourer race member roared and controlled the 9 swords to block. Rip! With a swipe of his thick and powerful hoof claws, he sent the 9 swords flying, and then swiped at the body of the Immortal Dracula race. Pong! The Immortal Devourer race member's body shattered and was sent flying. The shattered body swiftly reformed in midair. The Immortal Devourer race member roared at the distant Luo Feng, speaking piercingly in human common language. Human Sector Lord, I don't believe I can't kill you. The 9 swords swiftly became 9 beams of light in midair and pierced towards Luo Feng. The Beast God Phantom's huge scaled tail swept fiercely, immediately knocking away 7 beams of light. The remaining 2 pierced towards Luo Feng. No matter what, you are still a sector lord. Your body definitely can't block my attack. The immortal Devourer race member gritted his teeth. Rumble. Luo Feng wielded the beast god shield, casually blocking, using the armor to imbue Luo Feng with power comparable to an official level beginner undying. Along with the beast god shield's own material, he easily knocked away the 2 swords. So hard to kill. An undying general pinnacle is actually so hard to kill. I've already torn his body 7 times, but he reformed again every time. However, from the looks of it, his strength should have been greatly reduced. Luo Feng frowned. Without relying on the star devouring grass, using the beast god weapon to kill an undying general pinnacle is very hard. Rumble. In another direction, with a low rumble, that undying scaled life form fell. Yang. In the distance, Xu Fan and Bo Yizhu watched as Luo Feng continued to fight. Xu Fan couldn't help but communicate. This scaled life form seems to be an energy life form. It's even better than normal flesh and blood life forms. Even if he hadn't cultivated the undying body, if the difference in strength wasn't too great, he would probably have to be blasted apart dozens of times before he could die. Yang used the undying plant life to assist. First blast him apart, then immediately let the plant life devour his broken body. Once his body is completely devoured, he will naturally die. That's the fastest method. Understand. Luo Feng communicated. I want to use him in practice. Wait a moment. In the distance, Xu Fan and Bo Yizhu glanced at each other. Not daring to say anything else, they immediately deployed their armies to swiftly deal with the Dragon Clan army. Quickly flee. Flee. How? The Dragon Clan warriors all let out cries in their own language and fled in all directions. The human warriors, of course, took the chance to attack them when they were down. The only remaining undying immediately had a look of panic in his eyes. Those 2 human undyings are here too. The moment they join hands with this terrifying human sector lord, I'm dead for sure. Flee. Not bothering to defend, he turned and fled. Where do you think you're going? Luo Feng's gaze was cold. Rumble. The world projection swiftly increased the binding force. Under it, the undying creature's flying speed naturally fell, while Luo Feng's speed was pushed forward. Naturally, he swiftly caught up. Human, don't force me. The undying creature turned and roared, using an ear-piercing human language. You want to self-destruct? Luo Feng laughed coldly. In the sky, the huge, single-horned lizard pounced down once again, tyrannically pressuring over, right claw, left claw, all clawed at the undying creature. That undying creature was like a piece of tofu, madly torn apart by the huge beast god phantom. However, each time he was torn apart, it obviously consumed large amounts of his undying energy. After all, he wasn't an undying body. Every time he was torn apart, he would lose large amounts of his undying energy. He couldn't escape. He was constantly attacked. The undying creature roared and wanted to rush at Luo Feng, wanting to self-destruct and drag the human down with him. However, he was torn apart by the beast god phantom's claw. The undying creature was filled with grief and rage. Even if he wanted to self-destruct, he couldn't even get close to the human. He was already forced to the point where he had no other choice. He had once used soul attacks but couldn't hurt Luo Feng. He had tried to control his spirit weapons to attack Luo Feng from afar, but still failed. He wanted to self-destruct but couldn't get close to Luo Feng. Getting torn apart time and time again by the beast god phantom, it finally made him go crazy. Rip me apart, rip you apart too. Rumble. The undying creature actually self-destructed when the beast god phantom ripped him apart again. Rumble. The explosion caused the surrounding 1,000 kilometers space to crumble. The force of the explosion was over 1,000 times that of a pinnacle undying general in a normal battle. An undying's explosion was indeed the most vicious move. Luo Feng's beast god phantom was destroyed by the explosion at close range. Large amounts of rhombus-shaped metal pieces flew in all directions, after which they turned in mid-air and flew back to Luo Feng. entering the beast god's shield. Killing an undying general pinnacle is so troublesome. Luo Feng shook his head. So. In the distance, Shu Fan and Bo Yizhu flew over. Haha, congratulations, Yang. Shu Fan laughed. To be able to kill an undying general pinnacle alone, that's not easy. Even for us, we'd have to work together. We have to work together. Luo Feng looked at them. Hm, Shu Fan nodded. 1v1, with similar strength, it's very hard to kill an undying general pinnacle. Even if it's destroyed, it can reform again. Even though it doesn't consume energy like the undying body, a normal undying general can maintain at least 10 times of reforming. This isn't a problem, especially when they feel that they can't block it and can't escape, and their comrades can't save them in time. In their rage, they might choose to self-destruct. 1v1, if they self-destruct at close range, even the victor might lose his life. Hence, normally it's two working together. Two working together, the moment they gain the upper hand and destroy the enemy's body, they'll immediately control their undying energy to trap a part of the body. Firstly, they can't allow the body parts to reform quickly. They have to split them apart. However, the body parts are filled with powerful, undying energy, and the struggle is very strong. The two undyings have to use all their strength to suppress and destroy the body parts. The body parts are split into two, each person dealing with one part, constantly attacking and destroying the body parts, causing the enemy's undying energy to be depleted. And under such a state, the enemy can't self-destruct. Eventually, they'll use up all their undying energy and disperse. If it's one person first attacking and destroying the body parts, and then suppressing the resistance of the body parts, unless one's strength is much higher, it's very hard to do. Unless they're like you, a long-range attacker who doesn't fear self-destruction. Shu Fan smiled. Luo Feng nodded. In the past, when he killed the undyings, he had the star devouring grass to help. It was much easier. Shu Fan, Bo Yizhu, I think it's time I leave. Luo Feng said. Leave? The undying General Shu Fan and Bo Yizhu were shocked. Right now? The two of them longed for Luo Feng to be in their team. However, they were very clear. The chances of Luo Feng staying with them for long periods of time was very low. Haha, the two of you are my earliest friends from Yanji continent. We'll meet again in the future. Luo Feng smiled. I still have my own plans, hence, we each have our own goals, we won't force it. Yang, live and retire. Bo Yizhu said, live and retire. Shu Fan said too. Same, live and retire. Luo Feng smiled. Rumble. After which Luo Feng became a beam of light and swiftly vanished into the distance. The third chapter had ended. Tomato continued to write the fourth chapter. He had to fight for the monthly votes. To the end, no matter if he won or lost, if he didn't fight, he wouldn't be satisfied. Chapter 796. Luo Feng sat in the universe ship and flew in the air above Fog Sand Island. After forcing that undying horned ravager to self-destruct, Luo Feng woke up. Even an undying pinnacle himself couldn't easily kill him. His battle strength was still different from what he had imagined. Training, I'll properly train myself. I'll first train on Fog Sand Island. When I become the strongest overlord there, I'll head to the main continent. Luo Feng made his decision. Babata, it's that mountain range. So, Luo Feng kept the universe ship and quietly rushed into the mountain range alone. Within the mountain range, there was an extremely large cave. From the looks of it, there hadn't been any life here for a long time. It was probably a large team that was once stationed here. From today onwards, this will be my base. Luo Feng extended his hand. Star Eater, fill up the entire cave, leaving only this palace I'm in. Immediately, the golden star Eater grass landed in the cave, following Luo Feng's orders, madly growing. One had to know that this undying star Eater grass's limit was the size of a sun. Blocking up this cave was simply too easy. Countless leaves spread out, causing the cave to become a grass ocean. Heavy protection. The scanning device could scan a 1 billion kilometers area. At the same time, it could scan a 10,000 kilometers area. The scanning device Luo Feng bought was, after all, very high-end, able to maintain both a large and a small area. Naturally, the small area scanning was more detailed and advanced. Other than the device, there was also the star-eater grass protecting him. At least when I'm training, I don't want to be ambushed. The scanning device is, after all, just a device. There's bound to be errors. With the star-eater grass protecting me, it's safer. Luo Feng began to decorate the palace. This was going to be his long-term residence. The training journey began. According to the information from the Virtual Universe Network, along with his own personal experiences, Luo Feng's life and death training had a certain pattern. Hunting and fighting, returning to reflect and train. The shortest was 10 days to half a month. The longest was 3 to 5 months. One had to know that most of the Undyings moved in pairs, some even in 3. Luo Feng went alone to fight. It was indeed very strenuous to rely on the divine beast weapon. Sometimes they would be besieged and defeated, so they had to use their saber skills to fight. Luo Feng used the beast god weapon. His strength could barely be considered a low official level. The main thing was that his spirit energy was at the Sector Lord Pinnacle World Energy. His foundations were too weak. And Luo Feng's official level, low level, didn't have an undying body. Accurately speaking, he was only slightly stronger than normal undying generals at the pinnacle. He could use his saber to fight in close combat, but he was comparable to a marquis, because in close combat, Luo Feng relied on his armor. His body strength was 1,000 times that of a Sector Lord. His basic strength was already very strong. Coupled with his beast god intent, which was close to being a Regis god fiend, his saber art was naturally comparable to a high-level marquis god fiend. The moment Luo Feng used his blade to fight, those foreign warriors would naturally split up and flee. Even if Luo Feng used the undying star eating grass, he could usually only catch and kill one. Time passed. The surviving warriors in the foreign battlefield had all spent thousands, tens of thousands of years, and Luo Feng had already spent 100 years on the island. 100 years, Luo Feng had gone out to hunt and kill hundreds of times. At the start, when he couldn't succeed by himself, he would rely on the star eating grass to help him kill his opponents. At that time, he did kill a few foreign undyings. However, slowly, Luo Feng's name spread. The foreign warriors on the island exchanged messages. They all knew that there was a human Sector Lord with the undying star eating grass. Damn human, he actually relies on the undying star eating grass. He actually has an undying plant life form. Bastard. Even my elder brother, who was an official, didn't have an undying plant life form. The other 11 official undyings, I've never heard of any of them having a support plant life form. That support plant life form is too hard to deal with. Countless blades of grass. The moment one is swallowed, there's nowhere to run. It's even more terrifying than facing an official undying. In the past, the foreign undyings on the island moved in groups of 2 or 3. However, as the name of the Sector Lord spread, he was publicly acknowledged along with the other 12 official undyings as one of the 13 terrifying beings. Hence, the foreign undyings on the island began to work together. 2 groups merged into one, starting with 4 to 5 undyings together, or 6 to 7 undyings together. This way, even if they met Luo Feng, they would be able to suppress him. The moment he took out the star eating grass or his blade, they would first sacrifice 5% of their undying body to block the star eating grass, breaking the world projection's bindings and madly escape. This resulted in Luo Feng's battle merits getting lesser and lesser. Luo Feng exclaimed back then, "The undyings are indeed no fools." In the past, there weren't any undying plant life forms on the island, so they moved in groups of 2 or 3. Now that I've appeared, immediately it became 4 to 5, 6 to 7 undyings working together. And when they saw the situation wasn't good, they would sacrifice 5% of their undying body and flee. They all maintained light speed and fled. I couldn't even catch up, making it hard for me to even kill an undying. Luckily, my current goal is to train myself. Accumulating merits is secondary. With more undyings, I could train myself even more. Every battle, Those were all life and death battles. The foreign races were afraid of losing their lives if they weren't careful. Naturally, they fought with their lives on the line, allowing Luo Feng to gain much from the battles. Of course, these 100 years didn't mean Luo Feng didn't meet with danger. There were 3 times he met with danger, of which 2 times were when he was chasing the escaping Undyings and was surrounded. Even though it was a trap set up by the Undyings, Luo Feng's scanning device had long discovered it. However, to test and train himself, even though he knew it was a trap, he still charged in. This mad killing, giving it his all, gave Luo Feng many rewards. Even though those 2 times were dangerous, his earth body was at least alive. The 3rd time was the most dangerous in these 100 years. That time, Luo Feng locked onto a foreign race Undyings team. There were only 4 Undyings in that team. Luo Feng didn't put them in his eyes. He sneakily made his way over and suddenly attacked, destroying the life ship. The battle immediately began. The large amounts of sector lords, domain lords, and universe levels on the ship fled in all directions. Luo Feng and the 4 foreign Undyings fought madly and intensely. At this time, one of the escaping foreign sector lords suddenly had a huge bug clan mother nest appear beside him. That mother nest was surrounded by a blur of sector Lord Pinnacle bug soldiers. A total of 300,000 sector Lord Pinnacle bug soldiers. With just a combined attack, Luo Feng's earth body didn't even have time to escape. He even gave up on using the Undying Star eating grass. Luo Feng didn't want it to be destroyed. At that time, Luo Feng only did one thing. Holding the golden shield, that 2m tall and 1m wide beast god shield, he used it to block the attack. Rumble. The combined attack of 300,000 sector Lord Pinnacle Bug Clan warriors smashed into the beast god shield. This was indeed a standard weapon used by the Universe Knights. That attack naturally wasn't able to destroy the golden shield, however, it was able to instantly send it flying far away. And that strong force of impact also caused Luo Feng's true body, who was hiding behind the shield and wearing his armor, to be instantly smashed into pieces. The armor reduced the impact by 99%. However, his body, that was only 3 times stronger than a sector lord's, was still shattered. Even the origin orb within his body, formed from world energy, not the core, was shattered. His earth body dead the moment he died. The Masha clan's clone turned into his earth body and instantly appeared. The collapsed body and shattered armor were all kept into the world ring. The Masha clan's clone held the world ring and the shield. While it was being blasted away, it used the force to quickly escape. So, after which he sat in the Yun Mo planet ship and swiftly left. While escaping through the scanning device, Luo Feng found out that the foreign Undyings and large amounts of soldiers, etc., were all the followers of the Bug Clan Queen. The Bug Clan Queen, that was hiding within a sector Lord Slave's internal world, was the leader of the entire team. It was just that she was usually in hiding. The Bug Clan Queen was shocked too. The combined attack of 300,000 sector Lord Pinnacle warriors was enough to heavily injure an Emperor-level beginner Undying. And it actually didn't kill the human. He actually didn't die. Hurry and flee. The Bug Clan Queen ordered. Flee. Luo Feng did the same. Because even if he could win against the Bug Clan Queen, the price he had to pay wouldn't be small. Other than this time with the Bug Clan Queen, the other times were still alright. Actually, in the foreign battlefields, the Undyings would adjust according to the situation. For example, if it was dangerous, a few teams would team up. The danger level was low. Like the asteroid belt, even a single Undying could enter. Overall, Luo Feng's chances of encountering danger were normal. Encountering a calamity every 100 years, if he could live for tens of thousands of years, it wouldn't be easy. Luo Feng's lair was in another area of the mountain range. A man and a woman with a beast's head and a human body were sitting on the alloy chairs. It was obvious that these human bodies and beast heads were demon puppets. Busiayer is dead. It was killed by the Planet Eater sector leader. Why is our luck so bad? In these 60 years, we've already met him 3 times. That's too unlucky. These 3 times, The first 2 times we fought for our lives. However, the third time, we still lost Busiaya. That Planet Eater sector leader's improvement is really fast. This third time is much stronger than the previous 2 times. His improvement is too fast. If we meet him again, I'm afraid. The 3 demon clan Undyings were silent. The entire atmosphere in the palace was extremely tense. Fogsand Island had 13 terrifying beings, 12 official-level Undyings, and the Planet Eater sector leader. As the saying went, one would rather meet an official-level Undying than the Planet Eater sector leader. And in a short 60 years, they had met him 3 times. It was indeed unlucky. In another area of the mountain range, also Luo Feng's training grounds. Studying for 1,200 years in Primal Chaos City, the longer I study, the better the effects of a true life or death battle. Luo Feng walked out of the palace and stretched. He caressed the star-eating grass that extended over and smiled. Demon Clan Undyings, your lair is only 120 million kilometers away from me. You're always under my surveillance. I've only found you 3 times in 60 years. That's already very kind of me. P.S. Chapter 4 completed. Chapter 797. This month, Tomato had been holding his breath. Very holding his breath. Because this month was the first anniversary of Devouring Stars uploading, he wanted to fight for the first place in the monthly votes. But every time he caught up with the monthly votes, the gap would widen. Then he would be overtaken again, and the gap would widen again. Again and again. The readers were tired, and so was Tomato. But Tomato was unwilling. He was unwilling to lose like this. Tomato's collection was more than 100,000 more than his opponent. He had more than his opponent's weekly rankings and weekly push rankings. He had more than 20,000 subscriptions in 24 hours. His readers were hardcore and had a lot of readers. But why couldn't he get first place? Why couldn't he get first place? He was unwilling. He was very unwilling. This month may be the last month of my Tomato novel career that I will be working so hard. Since I have been forced to this point, I can only do my best, mobilize the power of all the readers, and ask all the readers to help me. Help me once, and get to first place in the monthly votes. Me, Tomato. I really want to get to first place in the monthly votes. It's 4 chapters today, and it'll still be 4 chapters tomorrow. There's only one goal, the first place in the monthly votes. Please help me. Chapter 798. Right now, my blade technique is complete. If I were to go find those 3 demon Undyings, it would be like trampling on them, and there wouldn't be any challenge at all. Naturally, I wouldn't be able to test out my current blade technique. Luo Feng's eyes were filled with excitement. Studying for 1,200 years in Primal Chaos City, even though the rewards were huge, the origin law comprehension was equivalent to theory. Theory was very important. Using theory and techniques was also very important. And the techniques were methods used in battle. Just like Hiroto's 4 great techniques were created by Hiroto himself, they were most suitable for him. Because Luo Feng too trained in the Beast God path, those 4 techniques were more suitable for Luo Feng. Hence, using the Beast God weapon, Luo Feng had already done it perfectly. However, his Earth Body and the Golden Horn Beast, they were the strongest in close combat. The Earth Body, because of his armor, naturally his blade technique was the strongest. However, Hiroto's absolute arts didn't have any blade techniques. The Golden Horn Beast's close combat. It also didn't have a battle technique created from the Beast God path. Hence, Luo Feng had to create it himself. The Phantom 7 Ultimate Saber that I learned back then had long reached the creator's realm. However, the Phantom 7 Ultimate Saber has no limits in theory. It is purely based on 7 saber techniques: Tanhua, Wandering, Burial, Nongying, Remnant Dream, Hate Unending, and Ends of the World. These 7 saber techniques are 7 different paths, and they can be extended continuously these 100 years according to my battle experience. Fighting with all kinds of alien experts, accumulating combat experience, and refining it in real battles. Then, I continued to merge the will of Beast God into the 7 supreme saber technique, perfecting it. After 100 years, I've finally made some initial achievements in the 7th Supreme Saber technique. The new 7th Supreme Saber technique is a relatively powerful technique, although it's not as exquisite as the secret technique Hiroto created. Luo Feng's blade technique was very powerful, however compared to Hiroto's 4 absolute arts. Luo Feng only dared to say it was a small success. Of course, small success in blade technique compared to Hiroto. Who was Hiroto? He was the greatest being in the history of the Golden Horn race, an overlord amongst the trillions of races in the universe. Star Eater. Luo Feng smiled and extended his hand. The entire cave filled with undying Star Eater grass swiftly shrunk into a little golden grass that entered his arm. Let's go test the blade. Luo Feng's eyes gleamed, flying out immediately. Sitting in a pitch-black disc-shaped universe ship, flying above the fog sand island at light speed. Luo Feng, there's a team within the mountain range with 4 undyings. Too weak. Luo Feng stood in the control room, gazing at the vast, misty sand island. In the distant mist, he could vaguely see a few mountain ranges, as well as the huge mountain walls that still had markings on them even after a trillion years. Moments later, Luo Feng, I've discovered another team 920 million kilometers away, with 6 undyings. Just 6 undyings? It's not enough to test my saber skills. It would be best if I could find an official level and battle it out with him. Luo Feng shook his head. It's a pity I've been here for over 100 years, and I haven't even met an official level undying. Babata's voice echoed in the control room. The Fog Sand Island is vast, and there are only 12 known marquises. How can it be so easy to find them? Moments later, this team is not bad. They have 8 undyings. It's barely enough for me to test my blade technique. However, a bit stronger would be better. Luo Feng said, Babata, continue testing. Moments later, wow, 990 million kilometers away in a mountain range, there are actually 12 undyings holding a feast. 12 undyings. Luo Feng, isn't this a little too much? Babata hesitated. Back then, when you met 8 undyings, you were beaten until you couldn't even fight back. You've never met so many before. Even though you've improved quite a bit, this time, let's pick 10. 12? Luo Feng lowered his head to look at the screen on his arm. Looking at the group of undyings on the screen, Luo Feng's eyes gleamed. These 12 undyings could be split into 3 groups. They were the Eternal Chi Clan, Card Shaman Clan, and the Starlight Clan. Eternal Chi Clan, flesh and blood life form. Their height was about 6m to 8m. They were known for their intrepid killing abilities. Their heads were similar to a crocodile's. They had thick 4 limbs, a scaled tail, and a black turtle shell on their backs. Card Shaman Clan, stone-type life form. Their height was about 15-20m. At first glance, they looked like they were made of alloy. Their appearances, however, could be very strange. They could look like humans. They could look like demons. It's just that they were essentially stone-type life forms. Starlight Clan, energy-type life form. This was a very peculiar life form. They could change into many different forms. They weren't afraid of soul attacks. A little like the Masha clan. Of course, they didn't have the heaven-defying talent of the Masha clan, cloning. However, the moment they became undyings, the Starlight clan was terrifying. The energy core within their bodies would fuse with the undying body. Due to their talent, the undying body was good at condensing. It could be said that the Starlight clan was even better than the Dragon clan. One would probably have to destroy their bodies hundreds of times before they could successfully kill a normal Starlight clan. These 3 races were all on the Bug clan side. Of the 12 undyings, there were 8 Eternal Chi clan, 3 Card Shaman clan, and 1 Starlight clan. Test my blade, it's them. Luo Feng's eyes burned with fighting spirit. Yes, Babata also replied loudly. Rumble. The flying saucer swiftly flew towards the mountain range. About an hour later, the flying saucer finally arrived at the mountain range. With Luo Feng's scanning device, obviously the team didn't even notice Luo Feng's approach. The 12 undyings were still gathered together, discussing the battle, their allies, their origin law comprehension, etc. Food Star sector leader of the 16M tall Card Shaman clan, Undying, roared, You guys overestimate him. He's just relying on that undying plant life form to have such power. Without it, how many undyings can he kill? Compared to the other 12 official undyings, he's still far from it. Long Suo, beside Eternal Chi clan undying, said seriously, we all know, in terms of battle strength, he's much weaker than an official undying. However, even an official undying normally would find it hard to kill a normal undying alone. However, that food star sector leader can rely on the undying star-eating plant to trap a target. In terms of threat, the sector leader is indeed higher, and 100 years ago, he didn't even come to Misty Sand Island. Our undyings were still moving in 2s and 3s, yet now there's 5 or 6 moving together. Why is that? It's all because of the sector leader. You don't admit that? Humph. The card shaman race undying snorted angrily. That food star sector lord is lucky. If he met a true official undying against the undying body of an official undying, he would definitely die. Suddenly, rumble. The side of the mountain wall immediately cracked. Countless mountain rocks flew, as though the heaven and earth were collapsing. Countless pieces of mountain rocks rushed into the palace, enraging the 12 undyings, all of them releasing their powerful law domains, be it fire law domain, lightning law domain, causing the countless rocks to fly, burn, freeze, and shatter to the ground. When the dust settled, a human silhouette could be seen. He wore a layer of black battle armor and combat boots. He held a silver hexagonal shield in his hand and carried a saber on his back. Pa! 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 He walked in step by step, his boots stepping on the ground full of rocks, directly shattering them. As he got closer, his silhouette became clearer, his eyes coldly looking at the 12 huge foreign race undyings. When the 12 undyings saw who it was, their expressions changed. Food Star Sector Leader. Food Star Sector Leader. The 12 foreign race undyings all felt a sense of pressure. His name was like a tree's shadow. Food Star Sector Leader's name had long spread throughout the entire island. Those foreign race undyings all knew of him. Food Star Sector Leader. Of the 12 alien undyings, the most beautiful one, with rainbow starry long hair, skin like jade, a 6M tall female starlight race undying looked at Luo Feng. We aren't willing to become enemies with you, but even with the 12 of us undyings working together, we aren't afraid of you at all. Please leave. Please leave. Eternal Chi clan undying said with a hoarse voice. Luo Feng stepped on the shattered rocks, looking at the messy palace. Glancing at the 12 undyings, he grinned. What a joke. When different factions meet, wouldn't they immediately kill each other? They actually want me to leave, haha. I came here to kill you foreign races. If you're afraid, you can start fleeing now. Bastard. Despicable human. Us 12 undyings are afraid of you? The 12 undyings all raged. The undyings all had their own pride. In front of the strong, they would lower their heads, but that didn't mean they would allow themselves to be bullied. Cut the crap. Luo Feng's right hand immediately grabbed the blade on his back. Hua! The blade was unsheathed. The blade and shield were specially made during his time in Primal Chaos City, because as his strength rose, the level 5 weapons were easily destroyed in battles between undyings. Hence, the materials used by Emperor-level undyings to create the blade and shield, costing about 6 million points. Foreign races die. Luo Feng roared coldly. Arrogant human. Food Star Sector Leader. We 12 undyings don't believe we can't kill you. Kill. Kill. The 12 foreign undyings raged too. In an instant, 6 Eternal Chi clan unleashed their undying soul attacks. 6 soul attacks pierced through the armor. The armor's special materials immediately weakened 99% of the attack's power, after which it smashed into the origin orb within Luo Feng's body. Within the origin orb, there was a small sleeping beast god. The beast god wrapped around the orb. Rumble. The soul attack immediately smashed into the beast god. Howl. The beast god opened its eyes. With a roar, the ripples immediately dispersed the attack. This was one of Hiroto's 4 great techniques, a soul defense technique. Beast god roar. The last 6 hours, not even the last moment. Tomato wouldn't give up. Chapter 799. Back when Luo Feng trained in the Void Pagoda, it was a pure defense, a passive defense. Beast God Roar. Other than the beast god that formed having the ability to defend passively, it could also let out a low roar to disperse attacks. This was an active defense. Its effects were indeed shocking. It was obviously much more powerful than the Void Pagoda. The cave is collapsing. The Undyings are fighting with the enemy Undyings. Within the cave, large amounts of sector lords, domain lords, and universe-level warriors from the Eternal Chi clan rushed out of the tunnels like lightning, becoming tens of thousands of beams of light, almost like countless shooting stars flying through the sky, after which these warriors all stood in mid-air, looking into the distance a million km away. Rumble, pong, the terrifying energy ripples. Even from a million km away, it was still shocking. Who dares mess with 12 Undyings? No idea. The only ones who dare do that on the island are the 13 overlords. Even those 13, any one of them against 12 Undyings. Even though they can survive, they would still be at a disadvantage. No one would be that stupid. Who knows? We'll just watch. There's a mad slaughter over there. If we run over and get caught up in the ripples, we'll lose our lives. Tens of thousands of warriors were like a blur of locusts, floating in mid-air, conversing, none of them daring to go over. A million km away. At Luo Feng's level, a single flash could cover tens of thousands of km, hence planets like Earth weren't suitable for Undyings to fight. If they used a little more strength, a planet would be completely destroyed. Only some special places in the universe, secret regions, or the universe space were their battlefields. Howl, kill him. Kill this arrogant and despicable human. The majestic card shaman Undying wielded two huge hammers, his entire body emanating a powerful thunder law domain. Countless lightning snakes revolved around him. He was a thunder Undying. Soul attacks are useless. Use your weapons to attack. Eternal Chi clan Undying emanated a cold water energy. The 100 kilometers area around him was like an ice water god country. Suppress his world projection. Suppress it together. The 12 Undyings released their law domains at the same time. The 12 law domains simultaneously pressed down on Luo Feng. Luo Feng's world projection expanded. A beautiful grass plain appeared in mid-air, suppressing the domain of the 12 alien Undyings. This caused the 12 alien race Undyings to be shocked. They had long heard of how terrifyingly strong the world projection of the Sector Lord was. Normal Undyings' law domains would immediately crumble under the pressure. The 12 of them working together, they didn't expect that they could only prevent the domain from crumbling and still couldn't suppress the opponent. Rumble. The huge hammer wrapped in lightning, like a meteorite falling from the sky, smashed towards Luo Feng. Xiao. A rainbow light left a trajectory in mid-air, slicing towards Luo Feng. Wah! The huge blade sliced open the universe space and slashed towards Luo Feng. 12 foreign Undyings madly surrounded Luo Feng. Huh! Luo Feng's eyes were filled with battle spirit. Even though he was the smallest, his world projection was able to suppress the 12 Undyings. His silhouette's movements had already surpassed the level of the creator of the illusionary techniques back then. Every time he blocked with his shield, his blade was able to withstand the combined attacks of 6 Undyings. Dang! Dang! The surrounding universe space had completely collapsed. Luo Feng and the 12 alien Undyings were surrounded by countless space shrapnel currents. They were fighting within the space shrapnel currents. Some of the space shrapnel could be vaguely seen within the shrapnel. However, it was destroyed by Luo Feng in the rest battle. However, one had to admit that the 12 Undyings' coordination was truly ingenious. They completely surrounded Luo Feng and the 12 alien Undyings. Chi. Luo Feng was forced to take on the combined attacks of the 8 Undyings. His blade sliced through the sky, and a blurry beast god silhouette appeared and vanished. However, that attack was something the armor couldn't completely block. Normally, attacks that didn't exceed 1,000 Sector Lord strength will be deflected by the armor. However, the moment it exceeded the limit, the armor would at most weaken a large portion of it. The combined attacks of the 8 Undyings had already exceeded the limit. Even though a small portion entered Luo Feng's body, it still caused him to tremble and spit out a mouthful of fresh blood. Luo Feng, 12 Undyings have exceeded your limit. Babata was anxious. 12 Undyings, the difficulty is indeed very high. Haha, 10 years ago, I faced 8 Undyings and fled. However, now I can fight 12 of them. Luo Feng spat out a mouthful of blood. His eyes, however, were filled with excitement. However, it's still far from my limit. He's injured. Hurry and kill him. Don't give him a chance to recover. The 12 alien Undyings roared, all of them fighting even harder. I've already tried the previous 6 moves. Have a taste of my strongest move. Luo Feng's feet became a blur. Shua, shua, shua. 3 images of Luo Feng suddenly appeared in midair. These images were almost like his real body. The trajectories of the 3 images were like twisted bolts of lightning. This was something Luo Feng had comprehended over the years in Primal Chaos City. According to the Primal Chaos City Lord's Universe book, Herodo's Beast God Dash, as well as the 3 Strikes Universe Traversing for his inherited memories, some of his achievements and movement techniques were transferred to humans. The moment he used it, he immediately dodged the attacks of the 8 Undyings. Ha, let one die. Luo Feng wielded the Blood Shadow Blade. He stared at the huge human-shaped card shaman. That majestic card shaman wielded 2 thunder hammers and roared. Hua! A beautiful, heart-palpitating saber light streaked across thousands of kilometers. At the same time, that beautiful saber light was followed by a huge phantom of a beast god. The tip of the saber light was like the sharp claws of a roaring beast god. The entire beast god image's claw image was the clearest. It had already fused with the blade light. The new 7 absolute blades, the strongest move. Burial. Even though the 7 moves had already been merged with the beast god conception, the new burial was still the strongest move. After all, he had spent the most effort on this move in the past. Chi! The blade light immediately knocked away the huge thunder hammers. After which, as though it was cutting through steel, it sliced through that majestic card shaman Undying's head, slanting and slicing downwards from his waist. Hua! The card shaman Undying's body was immediately sliced in half. The moment he was sliced apart, the blade light swallowed and countless blade energies shot out, tearing it apart from the inside, causing the card shaman Undying's body to split apart, turning into countless rocks and stones that fell. Die! He flipped his hand and tossed out a little golden grass. The moment it appeared, it swiftly grew. Simultaneously, countless golden leaves emanated. This was the undying star eating grass that caused all the other race Undyings on the island to turn pale. Stop him. Don't even think about it. Damn. The other foreign race Undyings didn't expect that under their encirclement, the Eater Star Sector Lord would actually rely on such a terrifying movement technique to escape and destroy a Cardwu race Undying in one move. He even took out the Undying Star Eater Grass to devour the destroyed Cardwu race Undying. No, stop him. The other 11 Undyings all went all out. Their law domains also went berserk, instantly going all out to attack the Undying Star Eater Grass, only to hear a series of rumbling sounds. The berserk attacks shattered many of the golden leaves. The Undying Star Eater Grass was also forced to retreat. The countless pieces of the card shaman Undying's body immediately gathered back into one body. However, his aura was obviously weaker than before. The card shaman race was a rock-type life form. They relied on strength to win. To shatter their bodies was very hard. Similarly, every time their bodies were destroyed, the losses were huge. Bastard! The reformed card shaman Undying roared and raged. The 12 of us working together, and yet long so almost died. This is our humiliation. Let's work together to suppress the Sector Lord. We'll all go all out. I'll trap him. You all go all out to kill him. The Starlight Race Immortal transmitted. At the same time, a transparent thread shot out from the center of her brows. The thread instantly elongated. Simultaneously, it shot towards Luo Feng. Starlight Life Thread. Luo Feng was shocked within. He had the inherited memories. He understood the Starlight race quite a bit. The Starlight race was a race where both men and women were incomparably beautiful. They were born with the ability to condense threads within their bodies. These threads were produced within the life crystal. The moment they used them, the life crystal would immediately crumble. Hence, this was the Starlight race's last resort. Of course, after stepping into the undying level, the life crystal would disintegrate and completely fuse with the body. The undying body would fuse with everything. Using the Starlight Life thread now wouldn't result in death. However, it would still be a heavy injury, requiring thousands to tens of thousands of years to recover. Chi-Chi, the transparent threads, twisted and intertwined, wrapping around Luo Feng. Let's take the chance to kill him. Last chance. Kill him. The Sector Lord inheritance will definitely be huge. The other 11 Undyings all went crazy, some even igniting a portion of their undying bodies. Luo Feng faced the entangling Starlight Life thread. His world projection was unable to force it back, and the Starlight Life thread was shockingly fast. It had already reached him. He could only roar. Eat, star. Rumble. The star, eating grass, fiercely expanded. Countless golden leaves spread out. The Starlight Life thread was incomparably fine. It followed the gaps of the grass and tried to wrap around Luo Feng. However, the countless golden leaves madly tried to block the Starlight Life thread. The 12 Undyings, including the Starlight race Undying, all attacked the undying star eating grass. Rumble, rumble, rumble. Large amounts of leaves were torn apart. The undying star eating grass was forced to shrink. Blood River Energy. Luo Feng simultaneously activated the energy within him, feeling the universe origin energy ripples even more clearly. 3 Universe Traversal. Luo Feng's body was like a ghost. With a flash, he left a twisted path. Simultaneously, his blood shadow blade flashed once more. Beast god silhouettes appeared on the blade light. Come, let's fight, let's fight. Luo Feng made the star-eating grass defend against the Starlight Life thread. He himself unleashed the Blood River energy to fight against the 12 Undyings. Under such frenzied fighting, Luo Feng's new 7 blades became even more natural and smooth. Fight, fight, fight. The last 3 hours of the month. Chapter 800. At the start, Luo Feng wanted to test his blade technique to see if it was good or bad. Hence, he didn't unleash his strongest movement, 3 Universe Traversal. That was why he was pressured by the 12 alien Undyings to the point he couldn't even retaliate. However, under those circumstances, Luo Feng was able to unleash his blade technique to block. Later on, the first time he unleashed 3 Universe Traversal, he destroyed a card shaman Undying. Blood River Energy, 3 Universe Traversal. Luo Feng, who didn't want to waste any more time, raged. Shwa, shwa, shwa. The warp trajectories. The 3 images appeared one after the other, causing the 12 Undyings to be shocked and furious. The difficulty of surrounding Luo Feng had obviously increased. Occasionally, Luo Feng would dodge the majority of the Undying's attacks and attack one of them alone. Chi. The blood shadow blade pierced forward, creating a huge hole in the universe space. Countless space shards were pierced through, simultaneously piercing through the forehead of the beautiful Starlight race Undying. Dutchman's Pipe. Luo Feng's blade was like lightning. It flashed and vanished. Eternal Chi Undying was sliced in half. Dutchman's Pipe. Long. Broken Dream. Knowing. Burial. Hatred unremitting. Sky and Path. Luo Feng's 7 moves alternated, along with his exquisite and swift movements, along with the Blood River energy. He was able to suppress the 12 Undyings. Even though the 12 Undyings were helping each other, when one was sliced apart, the other 11 would immediately help to suppress it. Within a short period of time, there wouldn't be any problems. However, it was obvious they were at a disadvantage, completely suppressed. Not good. The Starlight Life thread has been broken. The Starlight Race Undyings communicated anxiously. The Starlight Life thread wouldn't last long in this world. Star Eater. Luo Feng laughed loudly. The undying Star Eater grass immediately spread madly. Covering over 100,000 kilometers, countless blades wriggled and wrapped around the alien Undyings. Those 12 foreign race Undyings roared and attacked the undying Star Eater grass, directly forcing it to retreat and shrink. However, splitting their attention to attack the undying Star Eater grass, they who were already at a disadvantage naturally welcomed their first calamity. Rumble, rumble. Two more eternal Chi Undyings were slashed apart by Luo Feng's blade. The pieces were immediately swept over by the undying Star Eater grass and swallowed. Saber light crisscrossed. Those two eternal Chi clan Undyings were immediately torn apart. This scene caused the other alien Undyings to immediately stop Luo Feng. They were very clear. If they continued to suppress the star-devouring grass, they, who were already at a disadvantage, would definitely suffer even more. If a few of them were seriously injured, the star-devouring grass might not even be able to suppress it in time. Instead, the star-devouring grass would devour them all. Let's go. Quick run. Split up. The foreign race Undyings knew that fighting would only get worse. They barely managed to save one of them before fleeing. Chi Chi Chi, the undying Star Eater grass had already swallowed the undying. Escape. Luo Feng looked. The 11 undyings were actually fleeing in 11 different directions. Luo Feng could only choose one chase. Forget it. I'll chase after you. Luo Feng waved the star-devouring grass with one hand and simultaneously unleashed the 3 universe vibrations. With 3 flashes, his speed rose to sublight speed, and he chased after that unlucky foreign race, Undying. The majestic card shaman Undying, the first to be destroyed by Luo Feng. Why are you chasing me? Card which race, Undying Long Suo, was both angry and anxious. Stop right there. Luo Feng fiercely released his world projection. Projection? What was a projection? The projection of the internal world. Then the largest area of the projection was comparable to the internal world. Normal sector Lord's world projection could reach over 10,000 kilometers. However, if Luo Feng's world projection was pushed to its limit, it could easily reach 90 million kilometers. However, if he really did that, it would be telling others that his internal world had a diameter of 90 million kilometers. Hence, Luo Feng wouldn't do that. Anyway, he was only a few 100,000 km away from the card which race Undying. Stop. Luo Feng released his world projection. It immediately enveloped the card which race Undying Long Suo. World projection? Long Suo was shocked. He felt a strong resistance around him. Even though he could still fly, his speed had obviously decreased. Behind him, the Sector Lord was swiftly chasing. Hua! The undying star-devouring grass bloomed once again. Countless golden leaves filled the sky, enveloping the land and land, naturally including Long Suo. The countless teeth wrapped around him, causing Long Suo to madly wave the thunder hammer in his hands. Rumble! He forcefully blocked the golden leaves. So, the golden leaves automatically opened up a path. Luo Feng immediately passed through and appeared before the huge card which race Undying. Human. The card which race Undying Long Suo was terrified. He knew it was over. You can't kill me, you can't kill me. The card which race Undying said anxiously, his voice causing the space to tremble. I can't kill you. Luo Feng laughed coldly. Ah, give me a reason. Don't tell me you're the disciple or descendant of one of the knights. If I kill you, I'll suffer retaliation, but that's not right. If you have a strong background, you can't possibly not have any treasures. Long Suo was anxious, shouting, an official Undying, also known as Giant Rock, is my older brother. One of the 12 official Undyings, Giant Rock, is your older brother? Luo Feng's eyebrows creased. Indeed, of the 12 officials of Fog Sand Island, there was indeed a card which race Undying, nicknamed Giant Rock. Very good, very good. Luo Feng nodded. Long Suo's eyes were filled with anticipation. Even though he was incomparably huge and the human before him was just a little dot, he was clear that this little dot had the power to easily kill him. Then all the more you deserve to die. Luo Feng's silhouette flashed. The blood shadow blade immediately slashed through the sky, drawing a ravine in the skies. Howl! The beast god silhouette appeared. That beast god silhouette's sharp claws merged with the blood shadow blade's light and immediately slashed through Long Suo, causing him to howl in despair. As the blade neared, he immediately tried to self-destruct. However, his body was immediately sliced into pieces, and he didn't even succeed. Countless golden leaves swiftly devoured the shattered rocks. In a scorching hot desert of Fog Sand Island, there was an ancient palace. No one knew when it was built. A majestic 12M tall card which Race Undying sat quietly on a throne. He was one of the 12 official Undyings of Fog Sand Island. Funya, also known as Giant Rock by the human Undyings. At least on Fog Sand Island, he was definitely an overlord. Suddenly, he received a call for help from his brother Long Suo. Long Suo, the card which Race Undying stood up. However, immediately after, he received a message. Avenge me. It's the Planet Eater's sector leader. After which, no matter how the official Undying tried to send a message, there was no reply. Long Suo is dead. Funya's eyes were filled with rage. Planet Eater's sector leader. Planet Eater's sector leader. Human, I want you dead, I want you dead. Funya howled, his voice reverberating throughout the entire palace. Rage. Even though Funya and Long Suo weren't blood brothers, they were from the same tribe within the card witch race. In that tribe, the only Undying from the same era as Funya was Long Suo. Hence, Long Suo and Funya naturally roamed together. They too received orders from the upper race to reach the distant bug race region and listen to the bug race's orders to enter the outer region battlefield. On Fog Sand Island, Funya was invincible. Long Suo would only be a burden if he followed him. Hence Funya allowed Long Suo to meet up with the other teams. Planet Eater, Sector Leader. Funya gritted his teeth. Undying star eating grass. Maybe the Undying generals would be afraid. However, the official level Undyings wouldn't even care about the 100 vine level Undying star eating grass. Damn, you deserve to die. Funya howled. Suddenly his eyes gleamed. Imprint? That's my imprint. I gave it to Long Suo. Long Suo is dead. Don't tell me the human has it with him. He actually dares to bring it with him. He's really looking to die. Funya immediately followed the imprint. So, he swiftly rushed into the sky, breaking through the 1,000 kilometers desert layer. After breaking through, he sat on the universe ship and swiftly headed towards the imprint's location. After swallowing the foreign Undying, the Undying star eating grass swiftly shrunk and entered Luo Feng's arm. Left behind, Luo Feng held the 2 world rings, the items left behind by the card which race Undyings were all within. Luo Feng, he said that his brother was the official level Undying Giant Rock, and he is on Fog Sand Island. If it's really his brother, he may very well give him the item to help him at any time. His items may very well contain Giant Rock's item. Babata said. Luo Feng flipped his hand and kept the 2 world rings. It's good to have the item. Luo Feng smiled. This foreign Undying's brother is Giant Rock. I've been on Fog Sand Island for 100 years and haven't met a single official Undying. If I can take this chance and attract him over, that's my fortune. I really want to see the difference between my Earth body and an official Undying. I also want to see if my Golden Horn Beast can kill that official Undying. Just find a random place. I'll wait for 10 days to half a month, at most a month. If that Giant Rock doesn't come, we'll return. Luo Feng said. So, with a flash, Luo Feng flew tens of millions of km and found a mountain cave. He entered and began to carefully analyze the battle from before. The battle from before indeed gave Luo Feng a lot of inspiration. He once again studied his new 7 Absolute Blade. After all, this new 7 Absolute Blade could be perfected as his comprehension grew. 3 strikes universe travel. It's after all a technique the Golden Horn Beast uses with its wings. Even though I've learned it, Using a human body to use it, it's far from as comfortable as using the golden horn beast. I have to continue improving. I'll try to make it more suitable for a human body, Luo Feng muttered. As time passed, Luo Feng continued to perfect his blade technique in a mountain cave. The official level Undying Fanya was getting closer and closer to Luo Feng in his ship. The third chapter had arrived. He continued writing the fourth chapter. The monthly votes fight had reached its final moments. Chapter 801. The final result of over 35,000 votes was something that I could never have imagined at the beginning. No matter what, we've done our best. We've done our best. We've done everything we could. As for the rest, we can only leave it to the heavens. There was only gratitude towards our countless brothers and sisters. There were many things that Tomato would make a special post for when the fourth chapter was finished. I've been paying attention to the monthly votes and haven't even finished the fourth chapter. Chapter 802. Within the silent cave, a faint mist emanated. Luo Feng sat crossed-legged within, his consciousness already connected to the virtual universe. Within his primal region training grounds, he was studying his blade technique. Luo Feng wielded the Blood Shadow Blade and stood on the vast land, unleashing his blade technique again and again. Beside him were countless Sector Lord Pinnacle warriors charging madly at him. Dutchman's Pipe, Long, Broken Dream, Nongying, Burial, Unending Hatred, Horizon Path, Blade Light flashed, tearing space. Sector Lord after Sector Lord was killed. The slaughter continued. Not right. Something's not right. Luo Feng waved his hand, roaring stop. The countless Sector Lords that were charging over were all frozen in place. After all, this was just a simulation of the training grounds. Luo Feng walked amongst the frozen Sector Lords, frowning as he pondered. Before, when I was fighting against the 12 alien Undyings, I felt that my blade technique was still flawed, or in other words, it hasn't reached the limit of my origin law comprehension. Luo Feng's thoughts moved. Flipping his hand, and the Beast God shield appeared. Beast God weapon first form. Beast God descend. Luo Feng immediately unleashed it. Immediately, the golden Beast God shield shot out 999 rhombus-shaped metal pieces, connecting to the virtual universe's simulated universe energies. Countless golden threads intertwined, forming a huge Beast God silhouette. Its pressure was produced. This is the perfect technique. Luo Feng looked up at the Beast God silhouette floating in mid-air, emitting pressure. Even though it was just the first form, even though it was just 999 metal pieces combined to unleash the technique, it was still so perfect. The Beast God silhouette actually had pressure. Perfect. When I unleash my blade technique, it naturally produces a Beast God silhouette. However, it doesn't have any pressure. Luo Feng shook his head. Maybe compared to my teacher, Huyin Bo, my blade technique is considered exquisite. However, compared to Hero, my blade technique is too crude. Just how do I improve? How do I break through? Luo Feng stood there quietly, under the gaze of countless Sector Lords. He looked up at the Beast God silhouette floating in mid-air, emitting pressure. Break through. How do I break through? My Golden Horn Beast's close combat ability is that seemingly crude tearing sky claw. Isn't there a perfect secret art like Hiroto's Beast God weapon? Luo Feng continued to observe the Beast God silhouette in midair. He seemed to be able to touch something, but he always felt like he was searching for flowers in a fog. Time flew by. Luo Feng racked his brains, pondering over his blade techniques, pondering over the Golden Horn Beast's battle tactics. Actually, the Golden Horn Beast's fighting techniques and blade techniques were similar. They both belonged to the category of close combat. One relied on the Golden Horn Beast's body to attack. The other relied on the blade to attack, and the blade could be treated as an extension of the body. Naturally, the two were interconnected. However, all of this had to be created by Luo Feng. In the past 100 years, Luo Feng's blade technique could be considered a small success. However, in this battle, Luo Feng felt his blade technique wasn't perfect enough, unable to unleash the full power of the Beast God conception. Once it's complete, The power of the blade technique will surpass that of the beast god armament, because of course I will create the most suitable one for myself. The beast god armament is most suitable for Hiroto. Asterisk, 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 asterisk. In the past 100 years, Luo Feng would occasionally go out to hunt and battle. However, 99% of his time was spent comprehending the beast god path, researching blade techniques and battle techniques. And now, Luo Feng was once again immersed in that state. In the blink of an eye, 12 days had passed. Rumble. A 600 tall pyramid ship was swiftly flying through the skies. Within the ship, Food Planet Leader, sitting on the alloy chair was the card which clan Undying Funya. His eyes were burning with flames, and beside him were two polygonal sledgehammers. Evidently, he and the already fallen Long So also used sledgehammers as heavy weapons. He actually hasn't moved at all. The item's location hasn't changed at all, Funya said solemnly. Don't tell me he found out about my relationship with Long Suo and was afraid of my revenge. He searched and found the item and threw it somewhere. If Luo Feng really wanted to flee in a vast misty sand island, where would he find him? What's more, the moment Luo Feng fled to the Sacrifice Flame continent or another place, Funya would have no way of finding him. No, it has to be there, Funya was filled with worry and anticipation. He really wanted to kill that despicable human and avenge his beloved brother. However, he was afraid that the despicable human would throw the item and flee. If that happened, who knew when he would be able to avenge his brother? The distance between them shrunk. It has to be there. Funya gazed into the distance. Even with the external simulation at 100%, he could only see the mist in the distance. Luo Feng, we've discovered a dangerous target. The target is sitting alone in an automaton ship and flying towards us. And from his appearance, he's from the Card Shaman clan, and the Undyings on the island usually move in groups, yet he's alone. Along with what you said before you killed the Card Shaman, there's a 90% chance that the dangerous target is one of the 12 official level giant rock. Babata reported to Luo Feng. Luo Feng, who was sitting cross-legged in the mist-surrounded cave, slowly opened his eyes. He's finally here? There's still about an hour before he arrives. Babata said, I've waited for so long, and he's finally here. I've been on the island for 100 years, and I've never battled an official level before. Luo Feng nodded. My blade techniques and the Golden Horned Beast battle techniques are still a little confusing. Maybe I can use this chance to figure something out. So, Luo Feng immediately darted out of the cave, sticking close to the mountain walls and swiftly flying upwards. Very quickly, he arrived at a relatively flat area within the mountain range. There was a large lake here. At the peak of the mountain range, this lake was tens of thousands of km in diameter. This was unimaginable on Earth, however was normal on the island. Water. Luo Feng sat beside the lake. He could already feel the thick coldness emanating from it. He extended his hand and scooped up some water. A bone-piercing cold immediately spread from his arm to his entire body. He felt a chill, of course this cold. Luo Feng could still easily endure it. So cold. However, it feels good. Luo Feng smiled as he sat there, casually playing with the water. After an unknown period of time, rumble. A pyramid-shaped spaceship quickly broke through the air from afar, then quickly decelerated and stopped directly above the lake. Because of the shock wave caused by the ultra-high speed, the surrounding sand and stones were sent flying, but the incomparably heavy and cold water in the lake only caused some ripples. A 12 tall and sturdy card shaman, undying dressed in a fire-red armor, stepped out of the cabin door. The pyramid ship beside him vanished, and he stood in mid-air above the lake. A formless pressure emanated from him, and his body began to burn with flames. The flames began to spread and immediately covered an area of 10,000 kilometers. Luo Feng sat there playing with the water and released his world projection. Forcefully resisting the fire domain, he wasn't affected at all. The originally cold lake water began to boil and boil. After which, this huge lake that was over 100 times more water than all the oceans on Earth began to boil and boil. How boring. Luo Feng suddenly stood up. Rumble. The world projection fiercely expanded and pressed towards the fire domain. The extremely strong world projection used its overwhelming strength to force the domain. It looked like it was about to crumble. Oomph. Standing in the flames above the lake, the Marquis Immortal Funya let out an angry snort. Immediately, the originally ordinary-looking fire law domain began to revolve internally, as if a group of scattered soldiers had become a disciplined army, causing the entire fire law domain to become even more stable. Rumble, rumble, rumble. The world projection clashed time and time again with the fire domain. Even though Luo Feng had the upper hand, he was still unable to completely suppress his opponent. Luo Feng was shocked as he looked at the fire domain. This was the first time he had met a single domain that could resist his world projection. According to what my teacher said, I can infuse my comprehension of the space and time laws into the domain. However, I have to at least comprehend the fourth picture of the 9-universe tablet. Luo Feng creased his eyebrows. The domain is bestowed by the universe origin laws, natural law energy. However, this energy directly oppresses me like a group of scattered soldiers. However, the moment I use the space laws to control it, it will make the domain even stronger. An official undying is indeed much stronger than those undying generals. You are the Food Star sector leader. Funya, who was standing in the air above the lake, spoke in a thick human language. Luo Feng looked up at him. You are Big Rock? Ha ha ha, it's really you. Funya's voice rumbled. My guess was right. You should have known I was coming, right? Luo Feng nodded. You have guts. Funya said solemnly. You killed my tribe's life and death brothers. Guessed I was coming, and actually dared to keep my token and wait for me here should I thank you or laugh at you. Woo. You let me spend less energy to find you. I'll let you die a quick death. Luo Feng flipped his hand, and a blood shadow blade and a hexagonal shield appeared. One shield, the other a blood shadow blade. Rumble, rumble, rumble. The two's world projection and law domains were still clashing. Luo Feng's world projection had a slight advantage. However, it didn't affect the battle much. I've waited here for you for 12 days. Your speed is really slow. I hope you don't disappoint me. Luo Feng's black armor swiftly extended and formed a helmet. This battle would be Luo Feng's first true life and death battle with an official level undying. Luo Feng couldn't help but anticipate within. I won't disappoint you. Funya gazed at the little guy ahead, both hands wielding the green hammers. A glaring flame revolved around him. Fog Sand Island's 13 overlords. Food Star sector leader against Big Rock. The two clashed. 3 universe traversal. Luo Feng's eyes suddenly gleamed. His entire being immediately left behind 3 twisted trajectories in mid-air. Like a flash of lightning, his speed rose to a terrifying level. Simultaneously, along with his silhouette was a glaring blade light. Go and die. Funya 2 exploded with power. The battle immediately began. After the 4th update, in a while Tomato will post a summary of the monthly votes. Chapter 803. This month, the monthly votes were really up and down. Tomato fought for it. Countless brothers supported Tomato and kept fighting. We never gave up until the very last moment. However, the result made many people sad. Some readers even cried. However, Tomato could feel the passionate hearts of his brothers and sisters. 35065. This was the final result. We should be proud. Tomato, never thought that I would have such a high monthly vote count. Moreover, there was no double monthly votes this month. It was not embarrassing to lose. Tomato did not have any other thoughts. He only felt grateful, looking at the bountiful red tips, seeing the donation event in the book reviews and comments section, seeing the moderator being attacked, seeing the alliance leader being attacked, seeing the anxious readers who did not have time to top up their points and tip, seeing the readers desperately asking their friends to vote for them. They were fighting hard. Everyone was fighting hard. Tomato was really touched by the scenes of fighting hard. Thank you all. Because of you, Tomato only has what he has now. After working hard and fighting hard, there would be no regrets. With all of you around, I am successful. Tomato was indeed ashamed that his craziness had made countless readers tired. Tomato had said before that he would not fight hard in the future. Tomato lowered his head and focused on writing his novel. As for everyone else, they were happily reading their novels and chatting in the book reviews and comment section. They were happy and did not have to worry about anything. He would subscribe to his novel and give his recommendation votes and monthly votes to Tomato. Tomato would smile in delight at this. He did not need to work hard to get monthly votes. There was no need. It was not worth it. Tomato only hoped that Tomato was able to write one novel after another that would make people happy and enthralled. That was his success. Once again, thank you, my brothers and sisters who have always supported me. Thank you. Chapter 804. The moment that burning hammer was waved, it immediately shattered the surrounding universe space. Before the official level Undying Funya, the universe space was simply too weak. That hammer swept up countless fragments of space and smashed towards Luo, foamed tyrannically. Blade light moved to meet it. Where the blade flashed, a huge crack appeared in the universe space. I want to see just how strong an official level Undying is. Luo Feng wielded the blood shadow blade and clashed head-on with the hammer. Pung! The space shook and warped. A powerful shockwave immediately rippled out 10,000 kilometers, causing the already boiling lake water to tremble, almost like a giant stirring the lake water. Ha ha! Funya laughed loudly, stepping in space. Every step he took was 10,000 kilometers, wielding the huge hammer as he rushed over. Luo Feng, however, was sent flying hundreds of thousands of kilometers away from the head on clash earlier. His entire body was numb, and his internal organs felt like they were about to shatter. He spat out fresh blood, and his body flashed like a ghost, standing at the waist of a distant mountain, looking down at Funya, who was stepping on the air and walking over with large steps. What a terrifying shockwave. Even when I took on 8 Undying generals head-on, I've never been in such a sorry state. Luo Feng gazed down at the flame giant Undying rushing over. The inherited memories were right. The card shaman race's body advantage is indeed huge. This Funya's origin law comprehension is probably only at the early official level. However, his body strength is actually at the upper official level. That hammer. I can't take it head-on. Funya, however, broke through space and strode over. Human. Funya's voice resounded through space. To be able to take one of my hammers at sector lord level and not die. I respect you. It's a pity I still have to kill you, die. Idiot. Luo Feng snorted coldly. Shua. He immediately unleashed his 3-universe traversing. From the start, he only wanted to test his opponent's strength. Now that he knew his strengths and weaknesses, he naturally wouldn't foolishly clash head-on. This Funya was obviously weaker in terms of attack techniques. However, that Undying body was ridiculously strong. 3 silhouettes flashed. Luo Feng swiftly appeared behind Funya's right. Dutchman's pipe. The blade immediately became a dazzling rainbow light. So beautiful, it was mesmerizing. Humph. Funya's right hand turned around and struck out with a hammer. Wherever the hammer passed, the universe space would collapse bit by bit, as if a road roller was crushing a small country road. Shwa, shwa, shwa. The 3 images twisted and flashed again, and Luo Feng appeared on Funya's other side. He dodged again. Luo Feng appeared ahead. He dodged again. Luo Feng appeared behind Funya. Chi. While Luo Feng was crazily moving, his ghost blade finally broke through the defense line of the sledgehammer and directly slashed across the right side of Funya's waist. Chi chi chi. The blade slashed across, but it was as if it had cut through an incomparably hard material. It only managed to cut about half a meter in, which wasn't even 1/5 of the waist width, before it was completely stuck and couldn't go any deeper. What a tough body. It's fine if he's strong, but even his body is so tough. Luo Feng's expression changed. Even if flesh and blood life forms could unleash the same amount of power, their bodies would generally be weaker than stone life forms in terms of toughness. Moreover, flesh and blood life forms would only have stronger scales and muscle for defense. Once their internal organs were struck, they would become very weak. However, this was not the case for stone life forms. Stone-type life forms were born with tough defenses. Much less this Funya. In terms of body strength, he was comparable to a high-level official. However, in terms of toughness, he was at least 7 to 8 times stronger than an official. Haha. Funya turned to look at Luo Feng, casually swinging his sledgehammer towards Luo Feng's head. Shua! Luo Feng immediately stopped attacking, pulling his blade and retreating. Dang! While retreating, he used his blade to block this heavy sledgehammer attack. Luckily, while retreating, Funya's sledgehammer attack was only 30% effective. Luo Feng only felt his blood boil. At least he didn't spit out blood. Foodstar Sector Lord, you sure are fast. Funya rushed over with large strides and continued to attack. Speed is an advantage too. Luo Feng snorted coldly. He flashed again. Immediately, the entire mountain range was in trouble. Wherever the two passed, countless mountain rocks shattered, mountains crumbled, and the universe space crumbled. Both sides had completely different styles. Funya's strength was intrepid. His body was like a huge rock lump. However, his comprehension of the origin laws was slightly weaker, resulting in his adaptability and agility being weaker than Luo Feng's. Luo Feng relied on his armor and body strength to barely reach the level of an official. However, his beast god state that was close to an emperor made his level far exceed his opponent. Especially his 3-universe traversal movement completely suppressed his opponent. In terms of speed and agility, Funya couldn't even catch up to him. Shua! 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 Luo Feng flashed again and again, appearing everywhere, unleashing his cold blood shadow blade to attack the card shaman Undying Funya. The feeling of battling with a strong is indeed different. With the two sledgehammers clashing time and time again, under the pincer attack, Luo Feng's movement and blade techniques were pushed to their limits. Under the opponent's pressure, Luo Feng discovered his own strength time and time again. His movement and blade techniques were getting more and more intricate. As time passed, at the start, he would occasionally be able to force Luo Feng to block and even hit him with 1 or 2 hammers. However, as his 3-universe traversal became more and more intricate, he became more and more familiar with how to deal with the strong. The blood shadow blade would occasionally hit the sledgehammers from the side, affecting the hammers. That Funya would no longer be able to attack Luo Feng. Funya stood on the mountain range, raising his head and roaring furiously. Obviously, he was already panting. When Luo Feng's blade slashed at him, he didn't even block. He directly smashed the sledgehammers at Luo Feng. Human, go and die. Funya roared, his rage soaring. No longer caring about Luo Feng's blade or any of his attacks, Funya's eyes were only on Luo Feng himself. Hammer after hammer carrying space pressure, his huge arms waved, almost as though he was smashing towards Luo Feng from all directions. Immediately, Luo Feng's situation worsened. Before, when Luo Feng attacked Funya would always use his hammers to block. With both defense and attack, the pressure on Luo Feng wouldn't be too much. However now, Funya went crazy. He didn't care about Luo Feng's blade attacks at all. He allowed Luo Feng's blade to slash his body. Funya put all of his energy into attacking, and the gigantic pair of flame hammers continued to attack. Attack! All of them were attacking. Luo Feng could only feel the 2 hammers that were many times larger than himself, covering the sky and earth as they smashed at him. Pong! If he wasn't careful, he would get hit. His entire body was smashed tens of thousands of km away and smashed into the mountain wall. A hole appeared in it. Following closely, Luo Feng rushed out again. Pong! Countless hammers madly smashed down. Luo Feng was finally smashed away again. Fresh blood splattered. Smashed over and over again. Fly! 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 Luo Feng's attacks were almost like a pathetic suicide. To attack Funya, he had to get close to Funya's body, and naturally Funya's heaven-destroying and earth-destroying hammers would madly attack him. Funya didn't care and didn't block Luo Feng's blade, only focused on attacking Luo Feng. Unless Luo Feng chose to retreat, otherwise he would be a live target. No matter how good his movements were against those lightning-fast hammers, even if he dodged 7 or 8 times, it would still be hard to dodge 10 times. Pooh, 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 pooh. Damn. Luo Feng's entire body was numb. Lying on the mountain peak, fresh blood spat out on the ground. There's no way to fight. This Funya's body is too hard. It's like F-grade metal. Even if it's not F9 grade metal, it's at least F3 level. I can't even split him with one slash. Yet he doesn't even need to care about my attacks. He only cares about smashing me. Luo Feng laughed bitterly and shook his head. The huge silhouette bathed in flames crossed through space and appeared before him. Human, Funya roared. However, he couldn't help but be shocked when he saw Luo Feng lying there. Did the human give up? Ow! A low roar that made one's heart palpitate suddenly resounded within the mountain range. That formless pressure had already spread out over 100,000 kilometers. Even this rock giant bathed in flames had a change in expression. He turned to look to the side, only to see an incomparably huge silhouette slowly rising from the other side of the mountain. It had a body that was over 100 kilometers long. On its body, it was covered in silver scales. It was filled with beauty. It had silver scales for powerful silver claws, a silver scaled tail, and a pair of dazzling silver-scaled wings. This was a strange monster that was entirely silver in color. It had huge dark golden eyes and a strange silver crown on its head. Crown, extremely thick foreclaws, scaled tail, and extremely large scaled wings. In terms of body proportions, claws, scaled tail, scaled wings, they were all a size larger than the golden horn beasts. That powerful pressure was released from its body. Even the Marquis, undying Funya, felt fear in his heart. What is this? What life form is this? According to its size, it should be a space beast. There aren't any beasts this big. The flame giant, undying Funya, looked at this monster that suddenly appeared, completely stunned. He glanced at the seemingly calm human standing at the peak of the mountain. This human has the strength to match a Marquis, undying. He's definitely a peerless genius of the human race. This mysterious monster, is his tamed beast? Is it his sole slave? Or could it be a protector his teacher arranged for him? It could very well be a protector his teacher or some other powerful being arranged for him, just relying on himself. I'm afraid he wouldn't be able to tame such a terrifying being. The sudden appearance of the silver beast made Funya completely unable to care about Luo Feng. Funya felt the pressure. Even he couldn't understand what beast it was, a silver crown, a body covered in silver scales, and the pressure was so terrifying. The 12 pinnacle bloodlines of the space beasts were all different. Howl! The silver beast roared, its dark golden eyes staring at Funya. Killing intent emanated. Luo Feng stood at the peak of the mountain, gazing at the distant Funya, thinking, unleashing the beast god transformation, deities of the world, blood river energy, fusing with the even stronger general armor, the mysterious killing Wu wings, the various techniques of the golden horned beast. I don't believe your rock giant can't block it. P.S. Chapter 1 has arrived. Chapter 805. Terrifying, this beast is much stronger than that planet eater leader. The card shaman undying Funya stood in midair, his entire body burning with flames. He wielded the 2 huge hammers, staring hard at the mountain like Silver Beast. His countless years of battle experience made him understand how terrifying the beast before him was. Howl! The Silver Beast let out a low growl. Its huge silver wings suddenly flapped. Who? It was so fast that it seemed to teleport. The Silver Beast actually crossed over 10,000 kilometers in an instant and appeared in front of Funya, after which its huge claws directly clawed over. Wherever the claws passed, the universe space was torn apart like tofu. So fast, faster than any opponent I've ever met. Even faster than the Emperor-level undying I met before. Funya panicked within. He was clear that speed was his weakness. Against the incoming thick silver claws, he could only grit his teeth and roar, his hammers smashing out together. Rumble. The universe space collapsed. The two flaming hammers directly collided with the claw. The claw that was over 10 kilometers thick was like stepping on an ant, grabbing down at the two flaming hammers and the marquee immortal Funya. The claws that emerged from the claw were as sharp as blades, slashing across the hammers and Funya's body. The two hammers were immediately flung away. Funya's entire body was ripped apart like a rag doll. His strong body had no way of resisting the silver beast's claws. Howl! The moment it ripped Funya apart, the silver beast's claws suddenly changed from ripping to slapping down fiercely on Funya's broken rock body. Wong! The rock was completely smashed into pieces. The powerful marquee, undying Funya turned to dust under the tearing and slapping of the silver beast. However, the dust instantly condensed into a human shape in the distance. It was the marquee, undying Funya. Funya's face was full of fear as he stared at the silver beast. King strength. Fog Sand Island actually has an emperor. This beast is actually an emperor. Funya was shocked before the battle. Everything was just a feeling. One had to know how rare an emperor-level undying was. The chances of meeting one was simply too low. In the distance, Luo Feng, who was standing at the peak of the mountain, creased his eyebrows. His energy hasn't weakened at all. Just now, I blasted him into smithereens, and it didn't affect his strength at all. Undying body. It is indeed an undying body. Even though the Golden Horn Beast's current strength isn't that strong, it can still be considered an emperor. That silver beast was indeed the Golden Horn Beast, and it was currently the Golden Horn Beast's strongest form. The Golden Horn Beast's head originally had 5 black horns with complicated golden engravings, and after merging with the general armor, its body could form any shape. Luo Feng purposely used the 5 horns as a base to form a curved crown on its head, and because of the Beast God transformation, the Golden Horn Beast body shape changed. Its wings too merged with the Wu Killer wings, becoming special. Hence it was hard to tell that it was the Golden Horn Beast. He used the Beast God transformation. The 4 claws became thicker, and the scaly tail became thicker and longer. Clearly, it was getting closer to the body of a Beast God. The Golden Horn Beast body's basic genes, Blood River Energy, the Nameless Manual's first level, made it 330 times stronger than a human Sector Lord. The amplification techniques included Beast God transformation, Deities of the World, and the Natural Talent strengthening. Deities of the World could amplify by 5 times. Beast God transformation's first level could amplify by 2 times. However, these two were both body amplification techniques and would clash with each other. Just like how Deities of the World could amplify by 36 times, and Beast God transformation could amplify by 64 times. However, when the two were combined, they couldn't be multiplied by each other. To be able to amplify by 80 times was already not bad. Therefore, at this moment, when the two body amplification techniques, Deity of the World and Beast God transformation, were superimposed, the amplification effect was about 10 times, along with the natural talent strengthening. The natural talent didn't clash with each other at all and had a perfect combination effect. Hence, the Golden Horn Beast could rely on the body amplification techniques to amplify by 20 times. Its body's genes were already 330 times. The two combined 6,600 times Sector Lord strength, along with the general armor's 10,000 times Sector Lord strength. His body's strength reached 16,600 times. He could be considered to have crossed the basic threshold of an emperor. However, the current Luo Feng's origin law comprehension was still lacking. Even with his high universe compatibility, he could barely reach the emperor level. His overall battle strength barely reached the emperor level. Of course, to trample on the undying Funya, who was 2 levels lower in fitness and comprehension, was 3 levels lower. It was a simple task. After Funya was torn apart and turned into dust, his world ring and hammer flew back into his hands. At this moment, Funya was both shocked and terrified. I have to leave quickly, or I might lose my life. This Fog Sand Island actually has king-ranked martial artists. This is too much. So, Funya turned and fled, throwing his weapon into his world ring. He was clear that whether or not he used his weapon, it was useless against that silver beast. It even affected his speed. Trying to escape? Luo Feng's cold gleam flashed from the mountain peak. I let you condense your body earlier. Let's see how you do it this time. Star Eater. Luo Feng threw. So, a golden light swiftly flew towards Funya. It was a golden star eater grass. At the same time, the golden-horned beast in the sky that was emitting a terrifying aura also swooped down. Wu Sha's wings only flapped once. Using the first beat of the triple vibrations universe traversal, it instantly teleported above Funya. The speed was so fast that Funya wanted to cry, but had no tears. An emperor undying. Why did you come here? Funya howled within, unwilling to accept it. Right? Funya still hadn't realized that the silver beast was actually his sector lord. This was something Luo Feng had realized when he first began to absorb the Wu Killer Wings. The Wu Killer Wings were a true treasure. Even the primal Chaos City leader, that level of absolute being, recognized it as a treasure, enough to make even the knights of the universe crazily chase after it. Back then, after Luo Feng acquired the Wu Slayer wings, the first time the golden horned beast merged with the silver wings, it felt like the weight of a mountain. It took a lot of energy to activate. As time passed, almost as though it was refining the Luo Fu Meng plate, the Wu Slayer wings gradually became one with the golden horned beast, almost like a part of its body. After the true absorption, the entire golden horned beast body naturally emitted pressure. Actually, this pressure was originally from the Wu Killer Wings. After the absorption, it was released through the golden horned beast. Even though only a little was released, it was enough to make even an official level undying tremble. After absorbing the Wu Killer Wings, there was no way to detect the golden horned beast's strength. Teacher True Yin said that Dark Candle Emperor has a treasure, one that even the knights of the universe value. The moment that treasure is activated, its power is extremely huge. Luo Feng exclaimed back then. However, this Wu Killer Wings of mine is something that even the knights of the universe crazily chase after. Just the pressure I can control and release. It's almost like a true emperor undying's pressure. Rumble, another claw. The pitiful card shaman, official undying Funya resisted with all his might, but he was still instantly torn apart and turned to dust. When the dust once again condensed into one, the golden-horned beast mercilessly swiped again. 3 consecutive swipes. Funya shattered the condensation, a total of 3 times. However, his strength wasn't affected at all. This was an undying body. Rumble. The 4th time he was smashed into dust. The golden star devouring grass madly grew. Its speed was obviously far from the golden-horned beast. It took the golden-horned beast to destroy Funya 4 times before it arrived. Countless golden leaves swallowed the dust. Chi-chi, the dust flashed and disappeared from the golden leaves. It was hard to discern. The undying star devouring grass actually didn't swallow a single bit of the dust. Ooh! The countless dust once again condensed and became Funya. Why is he using the undying star devouring grass? Looks like that sector lord really doesn't battle an official level undying much. Doesn't he know? To kill an official level undying, the 2 main methods are soul destruction and forceful destruction. Funya looked suspiciously at the distant Luo Feng, after which he turned to flee. Pung! Another swipe and another swipe, causing Funya to once again become dust before condensing again. This emperor-level monster, why does it always attack me like that? Funya was even more suspicious. Even though it's an emperor level, it's barely at that level. To kill me without paying a price isn't realistic at all. Doesn't it know? Funya fled again. The golden-horned beast swiped again. In the distant mountain peak, Luo Feng frowned. It's the same as the information I've read. To kill a god spirit with an undying body, it's indeed difficult. Luo Feng's authority was high. Naturally, he had read the detailed information. With Luo Feng's methods, naturally he couldn't unleash soul destruction. He could only rely on forceful destruction. Forceful destruction was very difficult, relying on absolute strength suppression, destroying the opponent's undying energy, completely destroying it. As long as the opponent's undying energy was completely destroyed, the opponent would naturally die. There were two methods of forceful destruction. The first, the difference was too huge, like the primal Chaos City leader or the Universe Knights. They could easily kill an official level undying with a flip of their palms. They didn't even need to pay a price. When the difference in level was too huge, destroying the undying body was very easy. The second, the difference wasn't too huge, a low-level emperor wanting to kill an official level. Even though it could be destroyed time and time again, the opponent could still form again and again. At this time, to kill the opponent, one would have to pay a price. That was to burn one's own undying energy. The moment it was burnt, it would be akin to losing a portion of the god energy and a little bit of soul within. This was a permanent loss. How powerful was a low-level emperor? The moment they burnt their undying energy, the instant their attacks were terrifying, comparable to an emperor pinnacle. Naturally, they would be able to destroy an official level, annihilating a high-level marquee. Even a low-level emperor would require hundreds or thousands of years to recover. Of course, if an emperor level killed an official level, even without burning his undying energy, normal attacks would be able to damage the opponent's core. Burning a little undying energy would be enough to easily kill the opponent, recovering for a few years. If it was an emperor pinnacle, then they could easily kill Funya. This was forceful destruction, relying on the absolute difference in energy. If the difference wasn't enough, they would burn their undying energy. Barely managing to become an emperor, they want to kill me without paying a price? Funya was frustrated. How do I kill this Funya? In the distant mountain peak, Luo Feng creased his eyebrows. Destroying him again and again doesn't affect him at all because they don't damage his core. And forcefully destroying him requires burning his undying energy. However, the Golden Horn Beast is a sector lord. It doesn't have any undying energy to burn. What do I do? Luo Feng was faced with a difficult problem. Update complete. Today was the first day of the month. Then the guaranteed monthly ticket would go to Tomato. Hee. Chapter 806. The Golden Horn Beast's strength is higher than that Ka Wu Undying. It's easy to win. However, to destroy that huge rock, it's not strong enough to burn its undying energy to do so. But the Golden Horn Beast doesn't have any undying energy. Am I at a dead end? Luo Feng swiftly thought of ideas in his mind. All of them were rejected. None of the other methods worked. There's only one way. Maybe there's a chance. Luo Feng gritted his teeth. I'll depend on you. Kill Wu Yi. The Golden Horn Beast's strongest attack was already unleashed. What other attack could it do? It could only kill Wu Yi. This Wu Yi was a treasure that even the primal Chaos City leader recognized as a treasure. Fleeing was one aspect. It indeed had some battle capabilities. This was something the primal Chaos City leader had told Luo Feng back then. Of course, the main function of the Wu Yi was to flee, flying and dodging. Relying on the wings to battle, it only had a few abilities. Luo Feng had tested it time and time again, feeling that the Wu Yi's strong points were its speed and sharp scales. Under its swift flight, with a sweep of the wings, it was like a blade slicing through. How? The silver beast's wings shook, once again rushing towards the flame giant Funya, who had just condensed into one. Can you not be so overboard? How can it be like this? Funya was anxious and furious. How can this silver beast's instantaneous speed reach such a ridiculous level? It barely has emperor-level strength. Its instantaneous speed shouldn't be this fast. If it was slower, I could swiftly reach sublight speed, close to light speed, and he wouldn't be able to catch up to me. The resistance on Fog Sand Island was huge. Reaching close to light speed was already the limit. To reach light speed universe travel, one had to go to a few teleportation points. As long as it was an undying, as long as they had enough time, they would be able to reach close to light speed once they were that fast. Once their speed was that fast, even an Emperor-level undying wouldn't be able to catch up to a normal Undying. As everyone's speed was the same, they wouldn't be able to catch up, unless they knew how to teleport. Hence, battles between Undyings tested one's instantaneous speed if they were close and didn't pull far enough. One Undying running, one chasing behind, plus the one behind that was extremely fast. Naturally, he would be able to catch up to the one in front. After all, to reach close to light speed required a while. 3 forms of the Wu slaying wings. Right now, I can only use the first form, but I can still fly like a ghost and move at an astonishing speed. Luo Feng thought. Even that idiot Candle Emperor, with the treasure his father gave him, could fight an Emperor Pinnacle. Although the main purpose of my Wu slaying wings isn't to attack, but to dodge and flee. Once I dodge and flee, unless it's a conferred Emperor Undying who can teleport and stop time, how many can catch up to me? Boom! The golden horned beast flapped its silver wings, suddenly as fast as lightning, leaving behind a trail in the sky. It had already reached Funya's side. Hua! The wings were like blades. When the golden horned beast flew past, the edges of its wings were like blades, slicing through the body of the card Wu Clan official Undying Funya. Like a knife cutting through tofu, he was sliced in half. Funya's upper body and lower body were sliced apart. Ah! Funya suddenly raised his head and let out a painful howl. He had never howled in pain, even when he was destroyed into powder. Yet he howled at this moment. Pain, intense pain. The formless yet sharp destructive energy was just a thread. Yet it was like hot water melting ice, like acid corroding. Funya's undying energy was extremely weak against that destructive energy. It was actually forcefully destroyed one by one. It was a pity that the destructive energy was just a tiny thread of the Wu slaying wings that sliced through his body, yet it still destroyed 2% of his undying body. This was destruction from the very core. Ah! Funya howled in pain. Success! In the distant mountain peak, Luo Feng was filled with glee. With his sensory abilities, the instant 2% of his undying body was destroyed. He naturally felt it. This effect shocked and excited him. Ah, indeed a treasure that even the primal Chaos City leader teacher deemed as a treasure. Its main function is to dodge and flee, but even with a threat of attack, it's still incredibly powerful. And this is only a very, very small amount of spatial energy. Wu slaying wings, its mysteries were unfathomable. Under the activation of the body's strength and energy, the Wu slaying wings would transform into a very special energy. Luo Feng called it space energy. This was the core of the Wu slaying wings' explosive power. It was this energy that allowed the golden horned beast to fly like a demon. It was shockingly fast. The second form of the Wu slaying wings could activate space turbulence. Requires the third level bone section to activate. The third form could even activate space tides. You need to reach the 5th unicorn piece to activate it. This all required the space energy within the Wu killer wings to activate. This special energy was extremely powerful. However, right now, Luo Feng was only unleashing the first form. The space energy was only within the core of the wings. What Luo Feng could control through the feathers was a very, very weak thread. However, it destroyed 2% of his undying body. Card Shaman Undying die. Luo Feng was filled with glee. Rumble. The golden horned beast's wings shook. The Wu slaying wings once again sliced through. Shwa, 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 shwa. Funya didn't have the ability to dodge at all, even though he condensed again and again. The moment he did, he realized that the silver beast would slice through again every time it destroyed 2% of his undying body. Even with his undying body, he would at most be finished after 50 times if it was a normal undying. Losing 50% of his undying body was equivalent to losing 50% of his soul. His consciousness would crumble and he would be finished. After becoming an undying, even if he lost 99% of his soul, he wouldn't die. However, surviving 1%, he would at most retain his memories. His strength would be that of an undying's cannon fodder, to use that 1% of his undying body to recover all his strength. that would require trillions of years. No, no. Funya howled in pain. Spare me. Respected Emperor Undying, please spare me. Funya communicated urgently with the golden-horned beast. When he saw its terrifying speed, he knew, even if he burned his undying energy to increase his speed, he wouldn't be able to escape. Because that mysterious silver beast speed was too terrifying. Shwa, 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 shwa. In an instant, he was attacked 10 times. Funya's undying body was only left with 50%. His soul was reduced by half. Emperor Undying, don't force me, don't force me. Funya howled. Force you? Outsider, just die. The golden-horned beast's speed was terrifying. The silver wings sliced through Funya's body time and time again, destroying his undying body that he had spent countless years to condense. The undying body. That was his foundation. No, no. Seeing that only 30% of his immortal divine body was left, the Kawu clan's marquis, Funya grew anxious. Losing more than half of his soul had a huge impact on his strength. He let out an angry roar. Finally, when the silver monster attacked again, he felt despair. He could only roar in pain in his heart. Rumble. Instantly, his undying body exploded. Self-destruct. Funya chose the last path in despair. Even if he couldn't kill the Emperor Undying, he would at least heavily injure him. This was Funya's final revenge. Rumble. The universe space collapsed, the surrounding mountains crumbled, and the golden-horned beast who was close to the self-destruct immediately closed its wings. The huge Wu Slayer wings instantly protected its entire body. The berserk self-destruct energy struck the wings. The Wu Slayer wings were made of special material. Before this, the Primal Chaos City leader was the only one who knew of the existence of the Wu Slayer wings. To destroy the Wu Slayer wings, even a Universe Lord would have a hard time. This energy could only be considered an itch for the Wu Slayer wings. 90% of the force was blocked by the wings. The remaining force was used on the general armor, as long as it didn't reach the limit of the general armor, which was 10,000 times Sector Lord strength. Then the force would be completely blocked by the general armor. Rumble. The universe collapsed. The huge silver wings wrapped around the silver beast, flying tens of thousands of km, after which it spread its wings and floated in the air, its dark golden eyes coldly looking over. The treasures left behind by Funya, the spoils of war, were all taken away. Let's go quickly. The commotion from the battle is too huge. There are already teams rushing over. Luo Feng creased his eyebrows and looked into the distant space. The golden-horned beast immediately entered the internal world. So, Luo Feng flashed and disappeared, unleashing 3 times to travel through the universe. However, it was obvious that the same 3 times the golden-horned beast's first time was already much faster than the Earth bodies. One was the difference in strength. The other was the golden-horned beast's Wu Slayer wings. One of the 12 official undyings of Misty Sand Island, Giant Rock, had fallen. This news not many knew. Giant Rock didn't ask for help before he died, because there were no allies stronger than him on Misty Sand Island. Who would he ask for help from? As for leaving a message to warn others? Warn who? With the silver beast strength that had already reached the limits of an emperor, only the 12 officials of Misty Sand Island could deal with it. The other 11 officials, none of them were from his Card Shaman clan. If I die, you guys come along and die with me. Funya didn't have any good intentions. If they were from the same race, he might have warned them, but the other races, Funya wasn't that great. Luo Feng returned to his old nest. The star-devouring grass grew all over the cave, protecting the palace within. Luo Feng was within the palace, filled with glee. Haha, Wu Slayer wings. Teacher really gave me a treasure. Luo Feng's mood was extremely good. He sat there drinking his wine and thinking happily, I've finally experienced what it feels like to have a huge background. That Candle Emperor had a treasure that made the other Emperor Undyings jealous. I have one too, and it's even better than his. Even though it's mainly for dodging and escaping, with a bit of battle and defense, it's already very good. Luo Feng's mind seemed to flash with lightning, saying softly, "The golden horned beast's close combat, the earth body's blade technique, it should be." Luo Feng's eyes gleamed. P.S. Chapter 1. Chapter 807. Back when he was studying in Primal Chaos City for 1,200 years, Luo Feng had been troubled by his earth body's blade techniques and the golden horned beast's close combat problems. The Virtual Universe Company had many techniques. However, those battle techniques were infused with all sorts of origin laws. Luo Feng couldn't find a single blade technique or battle technique of the Beast God path. After all, among the humans, there was not a single person who had reached the level of Hiroto in the Beast God Tao. Even if there were some universe paragons who had created some blade techniques, they were still in the initial stages. Those incomplete blade techniques and battle techniques would naturally not be sold. Selling this kind of nascent and imperfect secret technique was an insult to the venerables of the universe. Because he couldn't find a suitable battle technique, the only one with great achievements in the Beast God path, Hiru, was a spirit reader. I've been troubled by this for so many years. Coming to the foreign battlefields, I've still been troubled by this problem. Even spending 100 years to improve the illusionary seven blades, creating the new seven blades. However, that was just an improvement. It was too low level. However, during the 100 years I spent creating the new seven blades, I've been accumulating experience. It's been a good experience. Luo Feng's eyes gleamed. This battle has finally allowed me to find a suitable battle technique. To advance, one had to first confirm a path. Before, Luo Feng was very blind. He had no experience from before. I'm really stupid. Luo Feng thought. Beast God, Beast God. The Beast God itself is the embodiment of the origin laws. The Beast God is the empty financial laws, and the empty financial laws are the Beast God. As I continue to train, the golden horned beast naturally became the Beast God, getting closer and closer to the Beast God level. Whether it's the claws, horns, tail, etc., they're all Beast God weapons. Because it's too balanced, I couldn't find a suitable one in a short period of time. I didn't know if I should study the claws, the scales, the tail, or other techniques. Now that I think about it, I'm really stupid. The golden horned beast's strongest is undoubtedly the Wu Killer Feather. Luo Feng was very excited. The Wu Killer Wings are treasures that even the universe lords have a little use for. Naturally, they're stronger for the strong. Since I'm creating my own techniques, I should create techniques that suit the wings. The Wu Killer Feather is already strong. Creating a technique to complement it, completely merging the Beast God path within, naturally that's the strongest method. Luo Feng smiled. Humanity created blade techniques, sword techniques, etc. Why? Because it was possible to create swords that were harder and sharper than human fists and feet. Swords and sabers became weapons. If swords and sabers were not as good as fists, experts would use their fists to fight. In reality, experts all use weapons. Even if they used their fists, they would use special gloves. Humans creating blade techniques, sword techniques, spirit weapon techniques. The golden horned beast created a scaled wing attack. After clarifying the route, the next thing to do was to spend a lot of energy researching it. Luo Feng began to madly research. Universe Traversal and Universe Traversal both had techniques that used the wings, and there were also techniques that used the wings to attack. One had to know that the golden horned beast had scaled wings, and within its inherited memories, there were many techniques that used the scaled wings to battle. Luo Feng studied them carefully. After which, in the Virtual Universe Company's treasury, he exchanged for a few techniques from the winged races. Maybe they weren't as profound as Universe Column and 3 Universe Traversal, but what Luo Feng needed now was to use them for reference and to accumulate experience in creating techniques. Looking at the various thoughts of creating techniques would help broaden his horizons. Looking at all sorts of wing techniques and infusing them with the Beast God conception, Luo Feng began to create his own techniques. Fog Sand Island. Silver Beast, quickly flee. Quickly flee. It's too fast. It's too fast. It should be at the Emperor level. Small, 4 foreign experts tried to flee in panic, but the wings flashed by like a flash of light in the sky, so fast that it made people's hearts palpitate. Then, the four foreign experts all shattered. These were only at the pinnacle of the immortal general level. How could they resist the terrifying Wu Slayer's wings? In an instant, they disintegrated and died. Everyone split up and flee. It's the Silver Beast. Every one that escapes counts. The pitiful foreign race, Undyings, were once again trampled upon. As time passed, the legend of the Silver Beast spread throughout Fog Sand Island. As the many foreign race Undyings discussed, they all confirmed that this Silver Beast was at least an official level pinnacle, or even an emperor-level strange beast. The moment one met this Silver Beast, it would be a disaster. At least on Fog Sand Island, no foreign race warrior could deal with the Silver Beast. No one knew the origin of the Silver Monster. They only knew the Silver Monster belonged to the human camp. However, there were 4 camps, and each camp had a large number of powerful alien races. Some special alien races were rare and powerful. Perhaps this Silver Monster was a monster that had suddenly appeared from some remote corner of the universe. What a bastard. Even if this Silver Beast isn't an emperor, it has to be at least an official peak. And its speed is terrifyingly fast. Such power. How can it stay on Fog Sand Island? It should go to the main continent. The main continent has large amounts of official Undyings, and even a few emperors. That's its true battlefield. Right, it's too much. Fog Sand Island has 12 official Undyings. I heard 2 or 3 of them have fallen. Don't say that. It's hard to say if they fell to the Silver Beast. Maybe they escaped to the main continent. Even if those official Undyings leave, they won't inform us. Actually, the Silver Beast isn't too bad. It only kills once a year or 2. The scariest thing is the moment you meet it, you're pretty much done for. Hence, many foreign race warriors are so scared they leave Fog Sand Island. Right now, there's obviously less of them. In a universe ship, the many foreign race Undyings under the Bug Clan were discussing. The Silver Beast's name had indeed become the nightmare of the entire Fog Sand Island. It had surpassed the 13 overlords back then. Back then, how could the 12 official level Planet Eater Sector leader compare to this Silver Beast? Against other beings, their chances of survival were very high. Only against this Silver Beast. Even if the 6 Undyings split up and fled, 3 of them would be lucky to escape. Studying the scaled wings on Fog Sand Island, in the blink of an eye over 100 years had passed. Luo Feng finally had the most basic Wu slaying wings attack, even though it was crude compared to Hiroto's technique. It had already surpassed the level of the new 7 blades, and there were many areas that could be improved upon. Creating techniques really isn't easy. Especially creating the pinnacle techniques is even harder. Like Soul Imprint, illusionary 7 blades. Luo Feng shook his head. His horizons were much higher. His comprehension of the origin laws far surpassed Hu Yin Bo. He had seen many pinnacle techniques, plus the Primal Chaos City leader's guidance. How could Luo Feng's improvement be slow? It's time to meet the Primal Chaos City leader teacher. Luo Feng split a thread of his consciousness to connect to the virtual universe network. According to the Primal Chaos City leader's request, Luo Feng had to frequently head to the Primal Chaos Shrine of Thunder Island to seek his guidance. Virtual Universe, Thunder Island. At the highest point of the island, within the blurry chaos energy flow, was a shrine. That was the highest point of the entire island. As a direct disciple, Luo Feng already had the right to be here. South, Luo Feng suddenly appeared before the shrine. There wasn't a single servant or follower within. It was completely empty, only the pervasive chaos energy flow. He took a big step in. Walking within the shrine, he stopped and said respectfully, "Teacher, what's the matter?" A voice resounded from within the chaos energy flow. My self-created Wu Killer Wings battle technique has some initial success. It can be considered a small success. Teacher, please comment on it. Luo Feng said respectfully. Unleash it. The voice resounded. Yes. Luo Feng said respectfully. With a thought, Luo Feng vanished, and a 100 kilometers long golden horned beast appeared. This was the virtual universe. Everything could be simulated, and according to the Primal Chaos City leader teacher's words, his Primal Chaos Shrine also had some characteristics of a training ground. With just a thought, he would be able to succeed. Luo Feng naturally transformed into the golden horned beast. His wings even fused with the Wu Killer Wings. The Wu Killer Wings were naturally replicated from the virtual universe. The strongest person in the virtual universe company was the Primal Chaos City leader. Hence Luo Feng's transformation into the golden horned beast. Naturally, he didn't have to worry about keeping it secret. Hua! The golden horned beast spread its wings and shook them fiercely. This shake had absorbed the experience of 3 flaps of universe travel. The horizontal slash of the wings, when flying, was even more impressive. The universe space at this moment was like tofu being sliced apart by a sharp knife. The slash was very light and natural. The wings streaked across the sky, leaving a very faint trace in the air. So, the golden horned beast slowly landed on the shrine, after which it transformed into Luo Feng. Teacher, Luo Feng said respectfully. Within, Luo Feng was extremely confident. If 100 years ago, when he used the Wu Killer Wings, he used the most basic technique, relying more on his speed and the special properties of the wings. Right now, it had reverted back to its original form. It seemed normal, yet its power was many times greater. How could Luo Feng not be happy? The Primal Chaos Energy Flow's voice resounded. Your wing attack technique is already considered an entry level. Obviously, your technique isn't perfected yet. If it was perfected, it would be much stronger. However, I'm afraid it'll be very difficult to find a suitable opponent for you to train in the foreign battleground. From today onwards, you'll often be in your training ground. I'll arrange some special opponents for you that will target your various weaknesses. You'll have to fight them in order to train your wing attack. I estimate that it'll take you 1,000 or 2,000 years to master your first secret art. Yes, teacher. Luo Feng was incomparably respectful. P.S. 2 chapters completed. Chapter 808. Go. A voice resounded from within the energy flow. Luo Feng bowed respectfully and vanished in a thin air. In a short few thousand years, Luo Feng was actually able to kill an official. Even though he relied on the golden horned beast and the killer Wu Yi, it's still not bad. If this goes on, there will be a day when he catches up to his senior brother Kadi. The Primal Chaos City leader sat crossed-legged in his shrine. Energy flowed around him, forming many blurry images. If I had given Kadi a treasure back then, maybe he would still be alive. The Primal Chaos City leader sighed. Kadi was, after all, someone who had passed the sector Lord-level Primal Sky Mountain. In terms of origin law comprehension, he had naturally reached the 20th level. He was already infinitely close to the Universe Knight level, much stronger than Luo Feng in terms of origin law comprehension. Of course, his training time was much longer too. Even though Kadi had many powerful trump cards too, his attacks and escape techniques were not weak. However, a treasure like the killer Wu, it was something even the Universe Knights found hard to obtain, much less geniuses like Kadi and Luo Feng. Only the Primal Chaos City leader, this sort of overlord, could give out a treasure just like that. Virtual Universe, Yuxiang Mountain Primal Region, Luo Feng's training grounds. Originally, every Primal Region member's training grounds had a fixed size. However, after the Primal Chaos City leader's arrangements, Luo Feng's training grounds became like the extremely expensive killing fields. The space within was infinitely vast. Vast space. Luo Feng stood in space, and his body changed, becoming a 100 kilometers long silver beast, golden horned beast. It's good to have a teacher like the Primal Chaos City leader. Even his private training grounds have become as luxurious as the killing fields, and it's free too. The virtual assistant Babata shouted happily, and he specially arranged suitable opponents for you according to your progress and weaknesses. Even your teacher True, Yin Emperor, probably doesn't have such foresight, arranging so accurately. Babata shouted excitedly. Luo Feng nodded. right? Even the one who created the technique himself didn't know his own weaknesses, making it hard for him to plan his opponents. However, the Primal Chaos City Leader teacher's arrangements were different. The Primal Chaos City Leader was the pinnacle of the universe's race humanity, an overlord of the universe. When he looked at Luo Feng's technique, it was like watching a child play. He could easily see through everything. A blurry shadow suddenly appeared in the starry sky of the universe, and then gradually condensed. He was over 10 kilometers tall and was covered in black rocks. At the same time, flames were spurting out of the cracks in the rocks. His eyes were completely burning with purple flames. A powerful aura was spreading out, and he was holding a blood-red trident that was over 30 kilometers in length. Of course, in terms of volume. In front of the golden horned beast, he was like a baby. Woo! The golden horned beast also let out a low growl. The first battle began. In the years that followed, every opponent Luo Feng faced with the golden horned beast was extremely terrifying. Almost all of them targeted the flaws of the golden horned beast. And according to the training plan the Primal Chaos City Leader gave him, he had to defeat one opponent before another would appear. In the virtual universe, your golden horned beast's basic qualities are fixed. To unleash a stronger battle strength, you can only rely on origin law comprehension and creating powerful techniques. I'll arrange opponents for you. Defeat one and a new one will appear. If you could defeat 500, that means your technique is already at the pinnacle. If you can defeat 1,000 of them, it means that the secret technique you created has already reached the peak. For example, Hiroto's ultimate technique is at this level. Of course, if we judge it accurately, defeating 1,200 of them would be the level of Hiroto's ultimate technique. Of course, if you could defeat 2,000, that means your technique has already reached the pinnacle, which is also the level of my technique. Work hard, my disciple. These were the words the Primal Chaos City Leader had said before. These words made Luo Feng even more ambitious. He felt even more how terrifying his teacher, the Primal Chaos City Leader, was. Hiroto's technique was at the pinnacle level. His teacher Primal Chaos City Leader's technique was already at the pinnacle level. Difficult. Every opponent he killed was extremely difficult. After every battle, Luo Feng would reflect, research, and improve his technique. The shortest was 10 days to half a month to finish off an opponent. At most 10 years, he might not even be able to finish off a single opponent. The most difficult of the first 500 opponents was the Space Beast Destruction Beast, and it was an undying level 1. The talent time stop had caused Luo Feng to suffer countless times. Battling this beast for hundreds of times, spending a total of 18 years, it was the one that took the most time. After spending 200 years, the Golden Horned Beast had defeated 500 opponents. Luo Feng wasn't satisfied with this at all. He continued to fight and research. The further he went, the harder it got. Finishing off each opponent took a shocking amount of time. However, Luo Feng continued to watch the 3 ancient pictures he had recorded before, watching the battle scenes of the Beast God. The Beast God's battle was much more profound than Hiroto's technique. The more he watched, the more he felt. He spent a total of 1,000 years. Luo Feng finally finished off the last 500 opponents. Howl! On a desolate planet, countless green threads flashed in a 10,000 kilometers area, almost surrounding the entire planet. The golden horned beast's silver wings shook, leaving behind a mesmerizing silver rainbow image in space. It didn't disperse for a long time, and the countless green threads were all destroyed in an instant. Rumble, that planet too shattered. It was like tofu being sliced into pieces by the golden horned beast's silver wings. The 1,000th opponent, the universe's rare life form, the green thread bug. After blocking Luo Feng for a total of 102 years, it was finally defeated. The green thread bug could create tens of thousands of clones. It could plant itself on a planet. It could control life puppets. The green thread bug that the golden horned beast defeated didn't have a puppet. It just relied on its own strength to fight the golden horned beast. Battle after battle, the golden horned beast always lost and was killed. After 100 years, it finally won one battle. Owl! The golden-horned beast raised its head and roared, following which it transformed into a human form. Ha ha ha! I can actually create an absolute art. Even though it's only the first form, it's still too strong. Luo Feng was extremely excited. Just like the beast god weapon had a total of 6 forms, the first was the beast god descent. Luo Feng had only created the first form. This was very normal. According to Luo Feng's plan, before reaching the universe night level, he would probably only be able to create 2 or 3 forms. Luo Feng, I have to worship you too. The virtual assistant Babata shouted beside him. Luo Feng smiled. Within he was filled with joy. How could he not be happy? What kind of person was Hiroto? The absolute arts he created were shocking. Even though he only created the first form, at least it was already an absolute art. What's more, Luo Feng's comprehension of the origin laws wasn't too high. This first form was already enough for him to use. Just like the second form of the beast god weapon, he couldn't even use it. He could only watch. I've successfully created it. It's time to go see my teacher. Luo Feng thought. With a flash, Luo Feng vanished. At the highest point of Lightning Island in the virtual universe, amidst the primal chaos energy, there was a shrine. There were no servants in the shrine. It was empty, only endless primal chaos energy swirling about. Luo Feng suddenly appeared and walked into the shrine. Teacher. Luo Feng bowed respectfully and gratefully. Deep within the primal chaos energy, a blurry silhouette slowly walked out. He was dressed in a golden long robe. His head, however, was covered in green scales. His face, however, was similar to an earth person, his expression casual. Only his eyes were calm like the endless ocean, yet as distant as the stars. His appearance was completely different from the one in Primal Chaos City in the Primal Universe. But his gaze was the same. Teacher. Luo Feng bowed respectfully. When he came to the shrine before, he could only hear his teacher's voice. He couldn't see him in person. To actually be able to create an absolute art, even though it's just the first form, it's enough for you to use, and you created it yourself. There are a few absolute arts in the universe, but the ones you create are the most suitable for you. Even if you train in an absolute art, it doesn't suit you. Unleashing it won't be as powerful as your own. The Primal Chaos City leader's eyes were filled with satisfaction. Not bad, not bad. Luo Feng listened obediently. Absolute arts? Firstly, there were many difficulties in learning them, and every absolute arts creator would probably be a universe overlord level being. Learning them was very difficult. Even if it didn't suit him with the absolute arts power, it would at least be better than creating his own absolute arts. However, Luo Feng's creation was already considered an absolute art, just one level lower than the absolute arts. And because he created it himself, it was the most suitable. Its power was naturally great. Do you want to continue training? Go challenge the 1,000 first opponent and continue? The Primal Chaos City leader smiled as he asked. Your disciple naturally wants to continue. Luo Feng said respectfully. A soldier that didn't want to be a general wasn't a good soldier. A warrior that didn't want to be a universe overlord wasn't even a qualified warrior. Luo Feng naturally had a heart that thirsted to reach the pinnacle, and also thirsted for his own absolute arts to reach the ultimate level. Even though he knew this path was incredibly difficult, and the success rate was terrifyingly low, he still wanted to challenge it. Very good. The Primal Chaos City leader nodded satisfactorily. Your absolute art. Does it have a name? The first form's name has been decided. The entire set has yet to be decided. Luo Feng said. What name? The Primal Chaos City leader asked curiously. First form Milky Way in the sky. Luo Feng said respectfully. This set of absolute arts, it was the way to use the scaled wings at the same time it could easily be used as a blade technique. After all, wing blade, wings like blades, switching between the two was indeed easy. Luo Feng's first form, Milky Way in the sky, was naturally a name Luo Feng thought of while creating it. Think a name for it. The Primal Chaos City leader smiled. Even though it's just the first form, it's after all a newly created pinnacle art, it has to have a name. P.S. First chapter here. Chapter 809. Name. Luo Feng pondered. Even the absolute arts created by beings like Hiroto were only at the pinnacle level. Such an absolute art's name had to be taken seriously. What should I call it? This is a scaled wing battle technique. It can also be transformed into a blade technique. Wing blade. Blade slicing through space. Wing blade, 6 scrolls. Wing blade, 7 scrolls. This mainly uses the Wu killer wings to battle. Call it the Wu killer manuals. This can also be used as a blade technique, using the Blood Shadow blade to unleash it. Call it the Blood Shadow manual. Luo Feng's mind flashed with names. However, it was rejected time and time again. It still felt like it was lacking something. Just what am I lacking? Luo Feng pondered. Looking at Luo Feng pondering, the Primal Chaos City leader watched silently. A pinnacle technique was the proof of an absolute warrior. Even if this absolute warrior were to fall, his technique would still be passed down. Every warrior would be serious when they decided on their name. This was also a form of affirmation for their long training career. Luo Feng's eyes suddenly gleamed. I'm lacking a power. The power of the spirit. Luo Feng's mind flashed with many thoughts. When I think of my own absolute art, I have unlimited motivation and passion. When I think of my absolute art, I become even more determined to be a strong warrior. When I think of my absolute art, I understand what I have to hold on to. What am I holding on to? Scenes flash through Luo Feng's mind. I want my parents to stop suffering. I want them to live a good life. Back in the headquarters city era, Luo Feng carried his blade and shield, charging into the wilderness, beginning his fighter's life. Dragon Egg, battle uniform. In the wilderness number 003 city, while the monster leader was battling with the 2 war gods, Luo Feng desperately rushed into the monster's nest to steal the dragon egg and battle uniform. Even a rabbit bites when it's cornered. You still think I don't dare to kill you. Under the throwing knife, Li Wei's head was sliced off and sent flying. Luo Feng's eyes were filled with madness, after which he madly ran for his life in the wilderness. At that moment, Luo Feng was like a mad demon. 100 billion? Under the astronomical bounty, Luo Feng, who was in the wilderness, was filled with fear, afraid his teammates would expose him. 28. 8 billion? Luo Hua was shocked when he saw this number for the first time. Luo Hua, I've said it before, I'll let you confidently stand in front of that Lady Nan and her parents. I'll do what I say, Luo Feng promised his brother. The glory of becoming an investigator of the Dojo of Limits. The appearance of the golden horned beast during the apocalypse of Earth, the absolute warriors of Earth, Luo Feng and the others all fought with their lives, disregarding their own lives to fight the golden horned beast. Having just stepped out of Earth and into the universe, Luo Feng's every step was careful and resolute. Heading to the world within a world, he was risking his life. Step by step, Luo Feng revealed his talent and risked his life in the training missions. All of this was for the sake of the perseverance in his heart. Protect your loved ones. Protect their homeland, hometown, family. Luo Feng instantly decided on one word, bright moon. Looking at the bright moon, thinking of home, thinking of family. Luo Feng, who has been studying ancient Chinese literature, first thought of the word bright moon. Since ancient times, who knows how many poets have missed their hometown when they saw the bright moon. They missed their loved ones even more when they were alone under the bright moon. Bright moon. Since ancient times, there's a saying, holding a single scroll is called a bamboo scroll. Combining the many scrolls is called a strategy. Luo Feng's eyes gleamed. Right now, I've only created the first form. In the future, there will be a second and third form. The many forms combining together will be called strategy. My absolute art will be called Bright Moon Strategy. Luo Feng made his decision. Bright Moon Strategy represented the perseverance in Luo Feng's heart, and the word strategy represented Luo Feng's ambition. He was definitely not satisfied with just a little achievement. He wanted to achieve more. Have you thought it through? The Primal Chaos City leader saw the excitement in Luo Feng's eyes and smiled. Yes, Luo Feng said respectfully. Tell me about it. The Primal Chaos City leader asked. The absolute art I've created is called Bright Moon Strategy. Luo Feng replied. Bright Moon Strategy. The primal Chaos City Master was slightly confused because there wasn't a single secret technique in the universe that used the word strategy. Most of them were XX secret techniques or directly named Soul Seal, Universe Division, 3 Universe Traversal, 7 Transformations of the Gods, etc. However, he had never seen an absolute art called XX Strategy. He had never seen it before. What's more, the meaning behind the name Bright Moon was something the primal Chaos City leader didn't know. Even though he didn't understand, the primal Chaos City leader didn't ask much. Bright Moon Strategy. Bright Moon Strategy. I hope this name will shock the trillions of races and make them jealous. The primal Chaos City leader smiled. Your disciple will definitely work hard. Luo Feng said respectfully. The primal Chaos City leader nodded. Teacher, your disciple wants to ask, just what are the levels of these techniques? Luo Feng couldn't help but ask. He only knew that the highest 3 levels were the pinnacle, and ultimate. The primal Chaos City leader said, simply speaking, they could be split into unorthodox, normal, pinnacle, and ultimate, these 5 levels. Normal sector lords create techniques. Some normal undyings create techniques. They're not up to standard. Just like the inheritance you receive from that Hu Yin Bo. His technique soul imprint is rather unique. It's already surpassed unorthodox. It's considered normal. Like the new 7 absolutes blade you researched before, even though it exceeds the illusionary 7 absolutes blade, it is still considered normal. Many official level undyings and some sector lord geniuses create techniques that are considered normal. Above that, it's the pinnacle, normal sector lord absolute geniuses, emperor level undyings. Their techniques are considered pinnacle. Above that is the pinnacle. Just like your other teacher, True Yin Emperor, he was able to preserve his life against a universe knight, comparable to a normal knight. Like him, invincible near the knight level, or your senior brother Kadi, he's already that strong at the sector lord level. Their techniques are considered pinnacle techniques. The universe knights all have their own pinnacle techniques. Of course, like I told you, the opponents you've challenged from 1,000 to 1,999 are all considered pinnacle techniques. Hence, even if they're all pinnacle techniques, the difference is still huge. Even though that Hiluo duo is strong, he's after all from the Golden Horn race, a normal race. He doesn't have our human race's strong foundations. Hence, his techniques naturally aren't as good as our human warriors. The techniques he creates are probably the pinnacle techniques of your 1,200th opponent. As for the ultimate, to be able to create an ultimate technique, that's too far away for you. The primal Chaos City leader smiled. Wait till you finish your 2,000th opponent before we talk about it. Luo Feng was shocked within, replying, Yes, teacher. Actually, you've done well this time. The primal Chaos City leader said, With my full help, according to your improvement, changing your opponents, targeting your weaknesses, under such circumstances, your efficiency is hundreds to thousands of times higher than if you were just studying. I originally thought with my help, spending 1 to 2,000 years, you'd be able to create an absolute technique. Who would have thought you'd be even better than I thought, creating an absolute technique in 1,200 years? Your comprehension is very high, at least in the beast god path. Luo Feng felt ashamed. Creating an absolute technique was extremely difficult. To be able to change one's opponent at any time, targeting the weaknesses of the technique, this kind of planning ability, even the universe knights would find it hard to do. Under such circumstances, how could Luo Feng's improvement not be fast? 1,200 years was comparable to studying alone for hundreds of thousands of years. Teacher, how would you know on the beast god path, even though my comprehension is very high? It's not as high as you think. Luo Feng thought within, I have the beast god statue in hand. I can look at it with my own eyes at any time, copying it time and time again, feeling the beast god path itself. Studying the beast god path every day. Naturally, his improvement was fast. Go. The primal Chaos City leader turned and walked into the misty energy flow. Continue battling the strong in the outer region battlefield, time after time of life and death battle training. Your absolute techniques will be perfected. Your improvement will be even faster. Yes. Luo Feng bowed respectfully, after which he vanished. The seventh battlefield of the Outer Region battlefield, Fog Sand Island, was still shrouded in mist. A life ship was flying about. It's been 1,200 years. In these 1,200 years, the silver beast has vanished. No one on the island has seen it again. The four demon Undying's puppets spread out. The atmosphere was relaxed. It could have gone to the main continent. The strong, there are as many as the clouds. There are many official-level warriors. There are even some emperor-level warriors. Those foreign races have strange methods to be able to become emperor-level warriors. Their wealth is shocking too. They must have bought large amounts of automaton weapons or other terrifying items. None of them are easy to deal with. Maybe the silver beast was killed by one of the emperor-level warriors. With the silver beast gone, there are even more official-level warriors on Fog Sand Island than before. There are now 18 overlords. These 18 overlords are indeed very arrogant, especially the Eat Star sector leader of the 18 overlords. When the silver beast was rampaging on Fog Sand Island, this sector leader hid like a turtle. The moment the silver beast disappeared, he became even more arrogant. However, to be accurate, the sector leader's strength is really strong. It said that he fought an official-level warrior head-on, and they were evenly matched. The sector leader's strength has indeed improved a lot. 800 million km away from this life ship, a black disk was swiftly flying away from Fog Sand Island. Within the black disk, dressed in black armor, Luo Feng stood there, looking at the screen beside that 800 million kilometers away. He said softly, "The silver beast disappeared? There's no one on Fog Sand Island that can match it. The main continent, I heard the strong, there are as many as the clouds. Official-level Undyings are shockingly many. I can easily bump into official-level Undyings. I have to be careful. Official-level Undyings are very hard to deal with. The Emperor-level Undyings have even more wealth than me, and the foreign race assassins. Who knows when they'll arrive?" Luo Feng thought. In the main continent, I definitely can't reveal the relationship between the sector leader and the silver beast. Those foreign races don't know of my trump card. That way I'll have a higher chance of survival. Battle? Danger? Come. Luo Feng looked far into the distance, at an infinitely huge continent in the void. That was the Yin Ji continent, a place that was thousands to tens of thousands of times more dangerous than Fog Sand Island. It was also a place where the strong were as many as the clouds. The black disk flew away from Fog Sand Island, heading towards the main continent. P.S. End of the 14th chapter. This 14th chapter was considered the beginning of the Sector Lord level. In this chapter, Luo Feng's self-created pinnacle technique, Bright Moon Strategy, had its beginnings. The storm that follows will only get stronger and stronger. The Sector Lord level's contents will surpass everyone's imaginations. He was late yesterday, as the 15th chapter would start tomorrow. He couldn't make any more. Hence, he would make up for it on his rest day, Saturday. Chapter 8:10. The 15th chapter isn't ready yet. Let's postpone the update until tomorrow. I'll swap with Planet 6 on my day off. I'll take a break today and prepare the new chapter. I'll update as usual on Saturday. Appendix. Today's noon is considered a late update, right? Woo. Chapter 8:11. Yinji continent's largest continent had a diameter of 1.8 light years. The warriors on the surrounding thousands of islands added together didn't even amount to a fraction of the main continent. Main continent, in the air above the vast desert. A black flying saucer was flying at sublight speed. Luo Feng, 960 million kilometers away, there's a foreign race team. A total of 3 Undyings and over 10,000 troops. They're currently monitoring their conversations. According to their conversations, amongst the 3 Undyings, one of them is an official, and his strength is extremely high. After a while, Luo Feng, 980 million kilometers away in the desert. There's a foreign race team stationed there, with 2 Undyings and 23 foreign sector lords. They're currently discussing, according to the monitoring, they've just fought, and their losses aren't small. Their team, too, has an official Undying. After a while, the team leader is an official Undying. The team leader is an official Undying. Luo Feng sat on the sofa in the ship's control room. leisurely enjoying his fruit wine. Babata's reminders resounded in his mind. All right, Babata, there's no need for such a detailed introduction. Luo Feng put down his wine glass. Even without your monitoring, I can guess those teams definitely have an official undying, as expected of my Babata's master. Very wise. Babata chuckled. From the moment Luo Feng reached domain lord level, according to the most basic programming of a living AI, it automatically recognized him as its master. However, as it was already a living AI, it had its own emotions. It mostly called Huyin Bo master. When it called Luo Feng, it usually called him by his name, rarely calling a master. The name was just a form of address. As a living AI, Babata naturally recognized Luo Feng as his master. This was the uniqueness of a living AI. Just like the pinnacle race of the universe, the automaton race. Every automaton was a living AI. They had a strict internal hierarchy, and they definitely wouldn't have a lower position provoke a higher one. It could be said the automaton race was one of the most united races in the universe. Why's my ass? After entering the main continent for 36 days, I've discovered over 800 teams, be it the foreign races or human teams. According to the scanning, there's not a single one that doesn't have an official undying. Luo Feng shook his head. Obviously, any team in the main continent has an official undying. It's no wonder. According to the information I found, amongst the undyings, undying generals make up about 2/3, official undyings make up about 1/3, and very few are titled kings. The percentage of official undyings is so high, in a team of 3 to 5 undyings, there will definitely be an official. Without an official, there's no way for a team to survive in Yinji continent. Luo Feng smiled. Just like when the Food Star Sector leader appeared on Fog Sand Island, forcing the undyings to move in groups of 4 or 5 or 6. It was the same principle. The high number of marquee and undying meant that there would definitely be more teams with marquee and undying. This forced the other teams without marquee to immediately team up with their allies, at least to ensure that they had a marquee in their team. This was the only way to increase their chances of survival. Otherwise, they would only be slaughtered by marquee-ranked teams. No expert liked to be slaughtered, conferred the title of marquee. They had undying bodies. Marquee godfiends rarely died when they fought each other, unless one of them had extremely high attainments in soul attacks. Looks like there are very few emperors. We've been flying for 36 days in Yinji continent and haven't found a single team with an emperor. Luo Feng shook his head. That's normal. Flying through Yinji continent takes about 2 years, and that's a straight-line flight. If we were to search the entire continent and fly back and forth, even if those emperors didn't move at all and search for 10,000 years, they still wouldn't be able to search the entire continent. You've only searched for 36 days. It'd be weird if you met an emperor undying so easily. Even if you met an emperor undying, their scanning device might be more advanced than yours. With your scanning, we wouldn't even be able to find them. Luo Feng shook his head. Babata, Luo Feng ordered. Activate all the functions of the second scanner. Maintain the first scanner's normal operation. Also, turn off the first scanner's shielding function, only maintaining the scanner's own protection. Luo Feng ordered within his consciousness. Understood. Babata immediately did as he was told. The first scanner was something Luo Feng spent a huge amount of points to exchange for in Primal Chaos City. This was definitely the standard for an Emperor Undying. The second scanner was something Luo Feng found in the spoils of war after he killed the foreign race official Funya with the Golden Horn Beast. If he spent money to buy that scanner, it would probably cost a few 100,000 mixed elements. It was a pretty good scanner. Right now, the first scanner's shielding function was turned off. Then, as long as the foreign race Undying Team scanner was more advanced than the second scanner, they would be able to find Luo Feng's ship. It was very difficult to find something more advanced than the first scanner in Yinji continent. However, it was much easier to find something more advanced than the second scanner. Luo Feng, you're really sly. It's not sly, it's just that I'm bored. I have to fish and attract some fish to eat this bait. 310 million km away from Luo Feng's ship, There was a completely dark green life ship flying. Within the ship's control room. Damn humans, they actually have an undying plant life. If it wasn't for that plant life, I would have killed them long ago. The scaled man with a wolf head roared. The humans are simply too rich. Even the official undying have many undying plant life forms. The humans are rich. Seated at the table was a foreign race, undying with butterfly-like wings and a huge compound eye on his forehead. He said solemnly. If it was Luo Feng, he would be able to tell with one look. This was a foreign race, the tail race. It was a powerful race and wasn't a subordinate race of the demon race. Actually, other than the 4 top races in the battlefield, the other large numbers of foreign races weren't all subordinate races. Some of the stronger races wanted to train and train. After negotiating with the top races, they arranged for their members to enter. Even more so, other than the 4 top races, there were also other life forms from the other top races. After all, demon, automaton, human, and bug race. These were only 4 of the 6 top races in the universe. It was only because their territories were close to each other and their conflicts were intense that they often fought. There were still 2 other top races in the universe, as they were located far away in the universe. Naturally, there wouldn't be any large-scale wars. Otherwise, the teleportation fees alone would be terrifying. However, those 2 top races still had some members willing to join the war, like the card shaman race, even though they belonged to the bug race. In truth, the card shaman race was actually a subordinate race of one of the 2 top races in the faraway areas. Humanity's mechanics, biology, and all other aspects are perfect. The other tail race male, Undying, said enviously. Together with the universe's unique virtual universe network, they've gathered the entire human race's strength into one, using their resources to their fullest potential. This is something the other races can't compare to. Humanity's body constitution is weak to begin with. Overall, they're weaker than us demons. Relying on external methods, they can compare to us demons. The scaled man with a wolf head snorted. Unfortunately, those space beasts are too arrogant. They don't think of themselves as demons. Those arrogant space beasts don't even think about it. Their intellect and talent are high. And they're also beasts, of course they should be considered demons. Especially with the 12 pinnacle bloodlines. They're even more noble than our royal bloodline. Unfortunately, those space beasts have powerful strength, yet they don't have territories. That's strange. The tail race lady said. Even though they don't have territories, the universe is filled with territories. The scaled man with a wolf head said, the space beasts are scattered throughout the universe. Many sector Lord Pinnacle space beasts can't even meet another in their entire lives. Unless one becomes an undying and has eternal life, only then can they come into contact with the core of the space beasts. Space Beast Alliance. That's one of the strongest alliances in the universe. If this alliance was willing to merge with us demons, we would immediately become the top race in the universe. The scaled man with a wolf head exclaimed. The demon race and space beasts indeed had many conflicts. On the whole, the astral behemoths were really equivalent to these strengthened demons. It was no wonder the demon race wanted to merge the space beasts into their own race. Just as the 3 foreign undyings were discussing humans, demons, and space beasts. HM? The scaled man with a wolf head looked down at the screen on his arm. The 2-tail race undyings looked at him. Captain, the 2-tailed clan members were puzzled. We discovered a universe ship. It's a human. The scaled man with a wolf head said solemnly. What's so strange about discovering a human universe ship? The tail race lady smiled. Looks like Captain was provoked by the human. No, the human in the ship is a sector lord. The scaled man with a wolf head said solemnly. Sector lord? How is that possible? The 2 undyings were shocked. In the main continent of Yenji continent, the strong were as common as the clouds. One could say that every team had an official undying, or they had to have special methods comparable to an official undying. Yet now a human sector lord had appeared in the main continent. A human sector lord actually dares to come to Yenji continent? Is he looking to die? The two Undyings were in disbelief. "I've thought of one," the scale man with a wolf head suddenly said. "Do you remember the Fog Sand Islands Planet Eater Sector Lord?" Fog Sand Island Planet Eater Sector Lord? The eyes of the two Undyings gleamed. "I heard that Planet Eater Sector Lord has the strength of an official level Undying, and has an undying Hunter Vine Star eating grass." The scaled man let out a mocking laugh. This human Sector Lord could very well be Planet Eater's Sector Lord. He probably felt invincible in Fog Sand Island and came to the main continent to explore. Humph. He really doesn't know his place. The main continent isn't Fog Sand Island. Killing him? No objections, right? Of course not. The two Undyings smiled. "Get closer," the scaled man ordered. So, the life ship swiftly headed towards Luo Feng's ship. P.S. First chapter here. 15th chapter Blade, River Emperor, officially begins. Also recommending a book, www. QDMM. COMM Web 203-8426. ASPX called Huichun House. It's a book with a different flavor. Chapter 812. The creature ship gradually neared. "Look, that human Sector Lord is still leisurely drinking." The scaled wolf-headed man pointed at the screen on his arm and laughed. If he knew that he was being watched by the demon race's Golden Monkey Race official level warrior, he would probably be so scared his legs would go soft. The female from the Tylee race laughed. The male from the Tylee race beside her nodded and coldly spoke. "Ignorance is also a kind of happiness. Let's make him die faster." For a human world overlord to have such combat prowess, he definitely belongs to the supreme genius's standards set by the Demon Alliance, right? The rewards are indeed high. The scaled wolf-headed man nodded. "Hence we have to record the battle in detail and leave his body in spoils of war to prove our battle merits." Unlike the human's virtual universe network, the demon race's communication system was very simple. Within the 7th battlefield, they could only maintain mental communication, unable to exchange images, videos, etc., much less the human's virtual universe network. Understood. The Wei Clan's two Undying's eyes were filled with excitement. Within the ship, Luo Feng sat within the control room holding a glass of wine. Tasting the fruit wine, he revealed a special smile, thinking, "Ignorance is bliss. Yes, you two are right. You are actually very blissful now because you don't know what awaits you. Actually, the reward for killing you are very high too. Official level pinnacle Undyings? Hee, much stronger than Fog Sand Island's huge rock. The Golden Horn Beast should be able to deal with it. 5 minutes. For minutes, countdown, 30 seconds. 30, 29, 28. Luo Feng clearly knew the distance between the creature's ship and himself through the first scanner. Rumble. A constantly compressed, undying energy condensed into a light ball that immediately flew tens of thousands of km, directly smashing into the black ship Luo Feng was in. This E-grade universe ship was immediately torn apart. Large amounts of alloy fragments flew in all directions. The entire ship rumbled and exploded. The universe space was torn apart. Countless space fragments shook. The space gradually calmed down. Within the shock waves of the explosion, a black silhouette stood in mid-air. He had a shield in one hand and a blade on his back. "Little guy, you have some guts. You actually dared to come to the main continent of the Sacrifice Flame Continent." A sharp voice rang out from the female Tylee tribesman. She had butterfly wings and a single compound eye on her head. Only the strength of a world overlord. He should be considered a supreme genius among humans. But why is he so stupid? He is stupid. Only then can we earn military contributions. The Wei clan male said in a low voice from another direction. "Don't waste time. Hurry up and finish him off," shouted the scaled man in the distance. The three alien Undyings surrounded Luo Feng from different directions. "So noisy." Luo Feng placed his hand on the blade on his back, slowly pulling it out. His gaze, however, coldly sweeping past the three alien Undyings. Pitiful little. The tail tribe woman was only halfway through her sentence. Who? The two Wei clan Undyings simultaneously became blurs, leaving behind an S-shaped trail in the 1,000 kilometers space. heading straight for Luo Feng. Simultaneously, their hands shot out large amounts of white silk. It looked like spider silk, however Luo Feng could clearly tell. As the silk passed through the air, the universe space itself seemed to be sliced apart by the silk, creating cracks. The Two-Way clan Undyings released 10 million silk threads, wrapping around Luo Feng from all directions, obviously trying to bind him first. The Wei clan is indeed a strong race. Their methods are not normal. However, these two are obviously still weak. Luo Feng shook his head. Hua hua. Countless white silk threads wrapped around Luo Feng. What idiots, not even trying to block. The Wei man laughed. Even though we are weak, even if the leader is trapped, he won't be able to escape anytime soon. The Wei woman's eyes had a mocking look in them, however, after which they couldn't laugh anymore. Because the countless white silk threads were about to form a cocoon, however, they were shocked to discover that black human silhouette was already 1,000 kilometers away. How can this be? How can his instantaneous dodging speed be even faster than us? The Two-Way clan Undyings were shocked. Luo Feng glanced at them. During the process of creating the absolute art, the primal Chaos City leader teacher had arranged for him. The 182nd opponent was a Wei clan Undying. Back then, the Undying, the golden horned beast fought, had an emperor-level battle strength. His methods were much more powerful. The Wei clan was famed for their speed and dodging. They were born with the ability to spit silk. The silk created by the Wei clan Undyings, its toughness was terrifying. The moment large amounts of silk formed a cocoon, it would trap the enemy. Even if the enemy's body was completely destroyed, they wouldn't be able to escape. This cocoon was like a cage. The moment one was trapped, it would be like being sealed for a short period of time, with no way to escape. It was a pity Luo Feng's inherited memories had detailed information on the Wei clan, and he even had actual battle experience with them. Why would he care about these two official-level punks? Die. Luo Feng's 3 consecutive warp trajectories, only leaving a warp trajectory in the 10,000-kilometer space, almost like a twisting bolt of lightning. 3 universe traversal. The Wei clan man frantically dodged and tried to control the silk to wrap around him. However, Luo Feng's speed was much faster than his. Wah! The blood shadow saber instantly turned into an enchanting, dazzling rainbow light. This dazzling silver rainbow light was indestructible and directly tore through the universe space. In the universe space filled with space fragments, a long silver river appeared. This was a long silver river formed by the saber light. Under this long silver river, it was unstoppable. Rumble. The Wei clan man was filled with fear and was immediately torn to pieces. Bright moon strategy, first form. Milky Way in the sky. Wah, wah. Another 2 beams of light formed 2 long rivers in the space ravine. One shredded the tailed woman, and the other hit the scaled, wolf-headed man. 3 silver rivers, attacking 3 alien Undyings. Howl! The man's body instantly shattered. At the same time, a furious roar that shook the heavens and earth rang out. A huge monster covered in golden scales, with a single horn on its head and incomparably complex, mysterious patterns on the scales on its head, appeared in midair. One of the demon royal races, the Gold Monkey Clan. The Gold Monkey Clan was famous for swallowing. It was actually similar to the weakened golden horn beast. Captain, I've lost 3% of my undying body. My undying body has also lost 2%. The 2 silhouettes of the Wei clan gathered in midair, their eyes filled with shock and rage. They had, after all, just trained their undying bodies, even though it wasn't completely stable. They could be considered as barely official. In order to damage their undying god bodies, one had to have the battle power of barely Regis, or in other words, near Regis. Indeed, the current Luo Feng's human body indeed had strength close to that of an emperor. His basic strength was 1,000 times that of a sector lord. He was considered an official. In terms of his level, over 1,000 years on Misty Sand Island, he didn't just create his absolute arts, simultaneously studying the beast god statues, copying them, This allowed Luo Feng's beast god state to reach the Heavenly Bridge's 18th level. This was already the standard to be an emperor. The blade technique he used was his own created pinnacle technique, Bright Moon strategy. The three combined, his level and blade technique, made up for his weakness in basic strength, allowing him to have strength close to an emperor. After all, even the true pinnacle emperors like Bloodthirsty Emperor, Fantasy Spirit Emperor, etc., created their own absolute arts. They were only at the pinnacle. Luo Feng's blade technique was indeed intrepid. A human sector lord with the strength to barely be an emperor? If I were to kill him, how much points would that be worth? He might be stronger than me in terms of strength, but not by much. Those two idiots from the Wei clan have just trained their undying bodies. They haven't even stabilized yet. Even I have the ability to destroy 1% of their undying bodies. Ku Jinmang's eyes were filled with passion. And this human sector lord is after all just a sector lord. He doesn't have an undying body, and at most, I'll burn a portion of my undying energy and risk it all to kill him. Such a genius. His points are definitely comparable to an emperor. Killing a sector lord genius was much more rewarding than killing an undying of the same level. Sector lord level close to an emperor. Killing him, the points would indeed be comparable to killing a true undying emperor. The two of them are actually injured. Their undying bodies are actually slightly damaged. Luo Feng glanced at the two Wei clan undyings. So weak, my earth body strength is only close to an emperor. I can't even be considered an emperor. How? In the distance, Ku Jinmang suddenly rushed over, opening its mouth, and immediately an incredibly terrifying swallowing energy was used on Luo Feng. Same level official pinnacle undyings. It probably wouldn't dare to forcefully swallow like this. However, a human sector lord, even though his strength was strong, he was still just a human sector lord. He didn't have an undying body. Directly swallowing, the sky and land went dark. The strong space energy was used on Luo Feng. Humph. Luo Feng immediately took out the undying star eating grass. It madly expanded, immediately covering 100,000 kilometers of space. Let's see how you swallow. Luo Feng's other identity was the golden horned beast. He was clear on the weakness of this move. The swallowing area was limited, a 100,000 kilometers diameter, huge object. That Ku Jinmang didn't have the ability to swallow it. How? Ku Jinmang was forced to forcefully stop the swallowing, after which it roared. Countless gold lights appeared in the surrounding space. Within the gold law domain, it immediately rushed at Luo Feng. Let me practice. After I'm done, I'll let the golden horned beast kill you to earn points. Luo Feng wielded the blood shadow blade and immediately rushed up. P.S. 2 chapters completed. Chapter 8:13. In the air above the endless desert, the incomparably huge gold fear and the black armored human madly fought. Both were in close combat. The battle was incredibly bloody. Pucci, the blade that was able to leave behind a long river of blade light in the crevices in the universe space, only managed to break the gold fear's outer scales. Golden blood spurted out. However, the moment it spurted out, it became a powerful, undying energy that entered the gold fear's body. These injuries didn't affect it at all. Ow! The gold fear's claw slashed at Luo Feng. Luo Feng's body flickered strangely, floating and dodging that terrifying claw. Simultaneously, he waved the blade in his hand. The blade was like a rainbow. It hung in the sky. Damn human! After fighting for a while, the gold fear roared within. He's too crafty, dodging too quickly. I actually can't hurt him at all. Originally, with his immortal body, Golden Maw thought that he would definitely be at an advantage if he fought this human in close combat. However, Golden Maw discovered that this human was too slippery. After fighting for a while, he only touched the human saber at most, but he did not truly harm the human at all. Panic rage. To kill this human, the difficulty is too high unless I ignite my undying body. The Gold Fear quickly realized this. Report to the Alliance. The Gold Fear thought, this human sector lord with battle strength close to an emperor level, he's definitely an absolute genius. The moment I report it to the Alliance, even if it's just a report, once it's confirmed, I'll be rewarded handsomely. The Gold Fear immediately communicated through the World Rings communication device. I'm on the Ying continent. My coordinates are, I've discovered a human sector lord. He's proficient in using blades. I suspect he's the Fog Sand Islands Planet Eater sector lord. His true battle strength is even stronger than an official level pinnacle, close to that of an emperor level. The two-way clan Undying's under me. They just formed an undying body. Under his attacks, they were slightly damaged. The Gold Fear immediately reported. It was a pity. The demon race's communication system was simply too weak. They couldn't even send pictures or videos. They could only communicate through consciousness. Even confirming the battle merits had to wait until they returned to the base. And the human's virtual universe network transmission could clearly confirm the battle situation, and the merits could be sent out at any time. My saber technique is actually able to suppress this golden mantis. Movement technique and saber technique are truly perfect. Luo Feng's killing was exceptionally carefree. The feeling of killing in the alien battlefields is indeed different from the virtual universe. In the virtual universe, his heart would naturally tell him that. It was all virtual. It was all fake. This was a natural psychological cue. Even though he tested the technique's effects, Luo Feng didn't feel any fear. However, it was different in the foreign battlefields. The foreign races might be able to use their trump cards, and they wouldn't dare to be careless in the slightest. For example, this golden centipede before them. Once it ignited its immortal divine body, it could instantly burst forth with the battle prowess of a conferred king. Of course, igniting its immortal divine body was equivalent to igniting its soul. Unless it was absolutely necessary, it couldn't bear to do so. I've finished practicing my saber. We can let the golden horned beast take action. Luo Feng immediately used the first scanner to block the enemy's detection. Simultaneously in the distance, a huge silver image appeared. That was the silver beast's instantaneous high-speed image. It immediately rushed towards the two-way Undyings. They're actually equally matched. Accurately speaking, the captain is still at a disadvantage. The two-way Undyings watch from afar, shocked. No problem, the captain has an undying body. Even though he's at a disadvantage, he's not in any danger. The moment he goes all out and ignites 2% to 5% of his immortal divine body, he should be able to deal with this human. Even though most of the points are with the captain, as long as he gives us a little, we'll be able to earn. The two Undyings from the Wei clan communicated with each other. Suddenly, they felt a terrifying energy pressure. What? The two Wei Undyings turned fiercely, their compound eyes looking behind them. An incomparably resplendent silver rainbow swept through the sky. The universe space was sliced apart like tofu. The two Wei Undyings didn't even have time to dodge and were pierced by the silver rainbow. How is this a silver rainbow? This was the silver beast's Wu killer wings. The wings were like blades, indestructible and incomparably sharp, slicing through everything. Wang, the two-way Undyings who barely made it to the official level and lost some of their immortal bodies from the Earth humans' attacks. The moment they were sliced by the Wu killer wings, the Wu killer wings' space energy instantly corroded their bodies, turning them into nothing. The silver beast's wings shook and flew straight towards Luo Feng and Goldfear, who were fighting. Goldfear had already noticed the silver beast when it suddenly appeared to attack the Wei Undyings. However, when it realized the two Wei Undyings had been instantly killed, it was still shocked. What? Emperor Undying. It's definitely an Emperor Undying, and it's so easy, it's probably not just a low level, it's at least a high level. Goldfear was shocked within. No wonder the scanning equipment didn't detect it at all. This Emperor Undying scanning equipment is definitely more advanced than mine. Damn, what kind of beast is this? Flee, flee, flee. Goldfear no longer cared about the human genius and immediately began to flee. Flee. Luo Feng seemed shocked too, turning and fleeing into the distance. Both the man and the demonic beast were fleeing. Let's hope this Emperor Undying chases after that human. Gold fear howled within. Go and kill that human. Ah, why is he chasing me? He's chasing me. Who? Wu killer wings shook, and the golden-horned beast immediately caught up to gold fear. Voila! The wings were like sabers. Bright Moon strategy was originally created to attack with wings, and it was specifically created to complement Wu's slaying wings. Even though it had turned into a saber technique after some slight changes, it was clear that Wu's slaying wings could be executed with even more abandon and ease. A silver rainbow swept through the sky. Gold fear was immediately sliced in half. Fresh blood and organs could be seen clearly, and the blood and organs seemed to be corroded by a formless energy. Very quickly, the two have fused back into one. Undying body lost 6%. Gold fear was shocked and terrified. This is an Emperor Pinnacle. It's an Emperor Pinnacle. It was an official level pinnacle undying. To easily injure an official level pinnacle, one had to have the strength of an Emperor Pinnacle. Spare me, spare me. Kujima transmitted anxiously. Poochie, Poochie. The golden-horned beast's wings shook and sliced again. Its speed was too fast. The moment Gold Fear's body reformed, it was sliced again, instantly losing 50% of its undying body. Spare me, Senior, don't force me. Gold Fear was panicking. Hua! The golden-horned beast attacked again. This made Gold Fear despair. Go and die! Gold Fear roared, following which it completely detonated the remaining undying body. The body that was accumulated over countless years. It contained an incomparably terrifying amount of energy. At this moment, it completely combusted and exploded. Almost instantly, the force of the explosion was close to an Emperor Pinnacle's attack. Rumble, hundreds of thousands of km above the desert, was instantly torn apart. Countless space fragments were thrown into chaos. The golden-horned beast noticed that the golden-horned beast was about to self-destruct and immediately dodged, at the same time closing its wings. The Wu killer wings enlarged by size, perfectly protecting the entire golden-horned beast. The golden-horned beast was knocked back a few hundred km before stopping. Slaying Wu's wings dissipated over 90% of the force. Even though the remaining force exceeded 10,000 times the Sector Lord's strength, after going through the general armor, it was reduced by another 90%. The remaining force, to the golden-horned beast whose own strength exceeded 6,000 times the Sector Lord, was like scratching an itch. Luo Feng, who was pretending to flee, also stopped, letting the golden-horned beast swiftly collect his spoils of war, letting the golden-horned beast return to the internal world. Powerful. My beast god conception has reached the 18th level, and I've created another pinnacle technique. Luo Feng thought. However, my body fitness is still at the initial emperor level, the three combined. I'm only at the upper level of an emperor. However, Wu Sha's wings are too powerful. The space energy it creates is really terrifying. It can actually damage an official level pinnacle's body. Luo Feng was overjoyed. Carrying the spoils of war of the three official level warriors, he took out a universe ship and swiftly left. The demon race's ruling level in the outer region battlefield. News confirmed. On the main continent of Yinji continent, a human sector lord has been discovered. That human sector lord has strength close to an emperor level. He should be an absolute genius of humanity, ranked within the top 100. Looking at the screen that displayed the results of the battlefield's AI, two completely black puppets were sitting there. With strength close to an emperor level, he should be a core genius of the 5 great powers. Like that virtual universe company Primal Region Sector Lord. Even though there are 100 of them, to have strength close to an emperor level, it's already not bad to have a third of them. A completely black man with a lion's head said solemnly. Indeed, close to an emperor level battle power. There were indeed over 100 human geniuses that could do that. Like those sector lord level geniuses that had trained for hundreds of thousands to millions of years. Their origin law's comprehension had reached the 18th level. Along with their trump cards, they could unleash strength close to an emperor level. However, close to an emperor level battle power, Even killing an official-level beginner would be difficult. I didn't expect the Fog Sand Island Sector Lord, Planet Eater, to have such strength. Before, that Sector Lord could only kill normal Undyings and the weaker official-level warriors of Fog Sand Island. He actually has strength close to an Emperor level. The other black man with 99 small heads said solemnly, "The human geniuses are all secretive. It's rare to find one. Such an absolute genius. Sector Lord is already so strong. The moment he becomes an Undying, he'll definitely be an Emperor. And he might very well be an Emperor level or even a Pinnacle. When that happens, with an Undying body, the price to kill them would be tens of millions of times higher. Even though his current strength isn't low, he's not Undying. Killing him would be easy. Such a threat. It's best to get rid of him as soon as possible." The black man with a lion head said, "HM." The black man with 99 small heads nodded. "I'll immediately report back to the clan and let them issue the order. P.S. Chapter 1 here. Recommending an Eastern fantasy novel, AO by Island. Location, www. Chidian. Com Book 1960257. ASPX